वामपंथी उग्रवादियों का सामना करने के साथ साथ विकास के कामों की भी निगरानी कर रहे हैं और 100% सैचुरेशन में सीएपीएफ और छत्तीसगढ़ प्रशासन के डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर और एसपी का भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है। भारत सरकार ने पूरे सभी राज्यों के वामपंथी क्षेत्र के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बढ़ावा कर देने के लिए ढेर सारे काम किए हैं। पिछले 10 सालों में 21,400 करोड़ रुपया और 15,300 टेलीफोन टावर लगाने की योजना रखकर इस पूरे क्षेत्र में जो कनेक्टिविटी का प्रॉब्लम है, जो आज के जमाने में बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण है, इसको रिजॉल्व करने का काम भारत सरकार ने किया है। सड़क संपर्क के लिए 21,000 करोड़ रुपया की लागत से टोटल 17,500 किलोमीटर की सड़कों को अप्रूव किया गया। उसमें से 11,500 किलोमीटर की सड़कों को समाप्त करने का काम भी भारत सरकार ने किया है। फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के लिए 25 सर्वाधिक प्रभावित जिलों में 2,796 2796 बैंक की शाखाएं और 2,061 एटीएम खोले गए। 32,294 बैंकिंग कॉरेस्पोंडेंट को रजिस्टर्ड किया गया और हर 3 किलोमीटर एक डाकघर, ये सूत्र को चरितार्थ करते हुए 4903 नए डाकघर खोले जा चुके हैं। एक प्रकार से इस क्षेत्र में पहली बार बैंक, एटीएम, पोस्ट ऑफिस ये पहुंचना शुरू हुआ है। कौशल विकास के लिए 48 आईटीआई खोलने का लक्ष्य रखा था, उसमें से 46 खोल दिए गए हैं। 61 कौशल विकास केंद्र एसडीसीएस स्वीकृत किए थे, उसमें से 49 बन चुके हैं और बाकी के 11 पाइपलाइन में है। तो एक प्रकार से 100% सिद्धि कौशल विकास के लिए भी मिली है। शिक्षा के लिए भी ढेर सारा काम किया है। पिछले 4 वर्ष में 165 एकलव्य विद्यालय खुले और 40 वर्षों में 38 खुले थे। इसकी कंपैरिजन में 4 वर्ष में 165 विद्यालय खुले हैं, नवोदय विद्यालय खुले हैं। आज की मीटिंग में छत्तीसगढ़ के मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कुछ फैसले भी लिए हैं जो वामपंथी उग्रवाद के लंबे समय के प्रभाव के कारण निरक्षर रह गए हैं, चाहे उनकी एज हो।
CBI goes after Sandeep Ghosh, case filed. Inside story of the land scam backing. All this and more on This is exclusive tonight at 7 p.m.
What I find startling is the indie media. You see this greasy indie media, this sponsored indie media, this greased up indie media. They call themselves the conscience keepers for the Indie Alliance. You know the indie media, ladies and gentlemen. We know the indie media as well, and they know themselves. They know exactly what they have done and what they are doing. But it's about time someone says it and really exposes them properly, because I will tonight, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this underground network of the indie media, these backroom deal makers, this veiled coalition has to be called out. This Lutyens meet Soros media has done everything to pick up the Abhaya story after they had no choice but to stop ignoring it. Ladies and gentlemen, at the first possible chance, they have stopped reporting on the injustice to Abhaya and given up on the campaign of justice for Abhaya. They just scrammed from the story. They bolted. They have stopped covering the injustice in Kolkata. These people are such double faces outright Judases to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are without doubt the last to pick up any public issue and the first to drop it. But they are the first to pick up
what message we are giving to the future generation. If such atrocities will be done on doctors, then no one will want to opt for this profession in future. So please come and support us and build a better, safe place for doctors to work.
The taste of success.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. It's come to
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. It's 7 p.m. I'm Niranjan, and on the show this Saturday evening, getting you 4 stories. 4 stories from 4 different parts of the country and 4 exclusive angles to each one of them. The show's called This Is Exclusive. Here are the headlines. Polygraph test of the prime accused in the RG car rape and murder, Sanjay Roy, will be done tomorrow. The CBI has seized key evidence. Trouble mounting for former RG car principal Sandeep Ghosh. CBI probing financial irregularities and the medical syndicate, the medical mafia in Bengal.
There's a single Hindu people, but we are arresting in last 1 month 35 Muslim influence. So always we blame Hindu. It is not the correct.
Big statement by Himanta Biswa Sarma. The Assam Chief Minister says infiltration at Assam borders has increased after unrest in Bangladesh.
इस्लाम कॉन्फ्रेंस का यह गठबंधन राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को लेकर के अनेक बड़े सवाल खड़ा करता है और भारतीय संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखने वाले हर व्यक्ति को चिंतित भी करती है.
A fierce electoral fight breaks out after elections are announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress National Conference joining hands, BJP calling it unholy alliance. Encounter underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla. 1 terrorist eliminated, weapons seized. More details on the show this evening. Trouble for actor Nagarjuna as the Telangana government goes after him, demolishes his convention centre. Was it vindictive action for him packing Pawan Kalyan, Naidu and also Narendra Modi? Getting in some breaking news now. First up, in the Justice for Abhaya campaign, we're picking up more details. The CBI is investigating the case. We're picking up more details of the investigation this evening as the CBI is expecting some big breakthrough soon. Big breakthrough expected. They're expecting Sanjay Roy to crack, perhaps Sandeep Ghosh. There could be something big in the next few days. Let me go across to my colleague Mayuk, joining us with the details from the Republic Bangla newsroom. Mayuk.
Well, Niranjan, what we are getting in from our CBI sources in Kolkata, more than 5 polygraph tests have already been done, including the doctors who had dinner with Abhaya. But the polygraph test of Sanjay is going to happen tomorrow because of the fact, Sanjay is a high security prisoner right now. He is in the judicial custody. He is in presidency jail. So basically, the CBI officers don't want to get into the correctional home after sunset because of the fact that in correctional home lots of issues are there, especially regarding discipline and security measures. So CBI officers have spoken to the jail authority. They are going to keep the entire day of Sunday for Sanjay and Sandeep. Sanjay's polygraph tests are going to happen tomorrow. Early in the morning, the CBI officers are going to reach the presidency jail premises there in presence of a DIG level officer, 2 witnesses, 1 doctor, 1 psychologist and CBI officers along with their team of doctors. They are going to be present there. Strict monitoring will be there so that Sanjay doesn't administer some drugs or some kind of medicines, or he doesn't carry a nail or any sharp objects which might alter or tamper the parameters in the polygraph testing. So this is going to be for Sanjay. Along with that, Sandeep, the principal, he is still in CBI headquarters in Kolkata. He has not been arrested, he has not been detained, but he had been asked to appear again for the 9th day. Sandeep is going to appear for the polygraph test, and Sandeep's polygraph test is important because of the fact that Sandeep is the man who knows too much. Sandeep may give lead to the biggest point where the CBI officers can find about his corruption. Secondly, the health syndicate that is active here. Constantly, the opposition leaders in Bengal are saying that it is not just a case of a single hospital. It's not just the case of a doctor getting murdered and raped. This is the entire systematic problem. The system in Bengal under the leadership of Mamata Banerjee that has corrupted, that has rotted, and this rotten system is being shown as something to be proud about. Mamata Banerjee's resignation, the demand for resignation is also because of this systematic errors, constant systematic errors. So Sandeep's polygraph testing is very important. Along with that, the other civic volunteer, Saurabh, who was apparently accompanying this Sanjay on that fateful night. This Saurabh's polygraph test is important because of the fact that he can actually give lead to other cops who were in contact with Sanjay. Is there any help that Sanjay needed at that point of time and he was being helped by any top cops? So all these things are very important. CBI, what we are getting in from our sources, they thought that this polygraph test is going to be a 4 or 5 hours long duration testing, but this is going to be a prolonged, and tonight it's going to be a long night for all the suspected people in Abhaya case.
Okay, can I ask you, are they getting perhaps closer to the medical syndicate? I mean, you've cracked more or less. What we know is that the rape and murder, the cover-up has been established. What remains to be now proven and investigated is the medical syndicate, the larger syndicate, the political connections, right? Mayuk, are we expecting a breakthrough on that front as well?
Well, absolutely, Niranjan, and many of the whistleblowers are coming up. In fact, in Republic Bangla also, you know that the petitioner, the former Deputy Superintendent of RG Kaur Hospital, Akhtar Ali, for whose petition the CBI is going to investigate Sandeep Ghosh's corruption charges now, the graft charges. Here also, a lot of things are coming up. First of all, Sandeep Ghosh was just part of this lower rank, I'm repeating, lower rank syndicate member. This health syndicate reaches to the reaches to the top of the administration is what the investigators are predicting, assuming right now, because Sandeep Ghosh had been time and again instructed by very influential doctors, very influential people in Bengal politics or in the administration, and that's the trail which the CBI officers are going to find, because there are charges of organ harvesting, there are charges of body racketeering, there are charges of medical corruption, there are charges of drug corruption, lots of charges are there, and most importantly, recruitment scam in health sector is also one angle that is coming up. So basically, this is also going to be Partho Chatterjee part 2 maybe, because here also the recruitment scam is coming up, the angle of recruitment scam in health sector. In fact, Niranjan, Akhtar Ali or other whistleblowers have said that just for internship, you need to pay 2 or 3 lakhs to get a good rank, and to get a transfer, you had to pay 8 or 9 lakhs. So basically, it was a corporatized system of raising money. It was a corporatized system of running a syndicate, and that too what we call Tola Baji in Bengal, the extortion racket in Bengal in this health sector.
Thank you for joining us with those exclusive details, Mayuk. Closer to cracking the medical health syndicate and the larger story behind the rape and murder and what was going on in Bengal at the RG Kaur Hospital. Right on top of that story, Republic Bangla tracking the story. Let's move on now from Bengal to Karnataka. An exclusive story that we have, ladies and gentlemen. For the last few days, I'm happy to share that Republic Kannada has been breaking the Muda files. The Muda files are the Karnataka land scam files. And every single day we've been breaking that story. In fact, leaders, and I can't name them, have been calling the Republic Kannada team from the Congress party and asking for details and asking us, is it true? And these are details that we've been breaking, aspects of conflict, aspects of corruption, aspects of the land scam that were not reported, that were hidden by the Chief Minister in Karnataka. And he was summoned to Delhi. He met the Congress High Command. And what is very, very interesting is that not just him, he was present in Delhi with the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, D.K. Shivakumar. And very interestingly, a third person also was called to Delhi. And his name is Parameshwara. He's a Home Minister. Technically, the Home Minister is the second ranking minister in the cabinet. The Home Minister was called Parameshwara. He came to Delhi. He met some leaders in the Congress party. Now, what we are also hearing is that, and I have my colleague Sri Lakshmi also joining us on the broadcast. So the story here is not just that Siddaramaiah, the Karnataka Chief Minister, was summoned to Delhi. Story is also that they're not taking his excuse or his version of the documents at face value. Sri Lakshmi, we are hearing that the Congress party leadership has asked for the actual papers, the details of the actual papers. There is one set of documents in the public domain given out by the government and the Chief Minister's aides. There is another set of documents that Republic Kannada has broken in the last few days that show conflict of interest, that show corruption, that show that what the Chief Minister said was a lie. He was lying on several fronts, several times. Sri Lakshmi, why don't you tell our viewers, one, about what these lies were, and secondly, what's happening in Delhi?
Yes, Niranjan. As you rightly said, Republic Kannada broke out series of exclusive document to the Kannada viewers, and Siddaramaiah has always been saying that I've never asked for an alternative compensatory sites in an affluent area, but Republic Kannada showcased documents which are proving that an application was filed in Muda asking for compensatory site in specific area where in the document the whitener was used to delete the name of the area. And this document created a lot of sensation in political circles here in Karnataka. And then we broke another exclusive that Siddaramaiah has always been saying that it is during BJP's tenure that the application was sanctioned, the sites were sanctioned to his wife. But the documents which are with us are proving that it is during Congress tenure that the decision was taken to grant compensatory sites, to allocate compensatory sites to Parvati, his wife, Siddaramaiah's wife. And so many other documents we put forth in front of Kannada people to showcase that Siddaramaiah is lying again and again. This mounted a lot of pressure in Congress circles, and High Command started called Siddaramaiah to discuss about these things. In Delhi, it is said that, as you are mentioning Dr. G. Parmeshwar's name, it is said that an alternate option, backup CM option was also discussed, and right in the beginning, it was like 50-50 power distribution between D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. But now it has just been 1 year and 3 months that the Siddaramaiah is ruling, and another 14 months of his part is still pending. So it is said that Siddaramaiah himself has selected Dr. G. Parmeshwar as a backup CM to finish his tenure. So it is, in political circles, it is going round that Parmeshwar will be an alternate if at all CM, High Command thinks about an alternate option. But as of now, considering that Karnataka is the strongest, biggest state with 136 seats, wherein Congress has won, I don't think Congress High Command wishes to destabilize its power center here. It is said that they don't want to disturb Siddaramaiah as of now. High Command leaders have taken a decision to give more support to Siddaramaiah to fight the battle legally as well as politically.
Yeah.
Niranjan.
Very interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, this coming week, there is a hearing in the Karnataka High Court on the Chief Minister's petition. And the court will decide, this is on the sanction to prosecute the Chief Minister, that is Siddaramaiah. The decision will be taken if the court allows that investigation, which the governor has allowed to be done. He is given the sanction to prosecute Siddaramaiah. And if the court allows the investigation, can the Chief Minister remain the Chief Minister and overlook an investigation that is done by his own state agency? It will be another conflict. I mean, it's a cycle of conflict, circle of conflict, you can call it. I mean, if you look at the entire sequence of events in the Karnataka land scam, allotment of land, the denotification, the seeking of prime land, and when the prime land was handed over, there is a sequence of events, and at each point of time, Siddaramaiah was either the Deputy Chief Minister, a Finance Minister, or leader of opposition, and then the Chief Minister. So there is a direct conflict, and his son was also a member of this body where his family was awarded prime land. So we'll talk about that separately, but I have another big breaking news story on This Is Exclusive. Srilax, please stay with me because this is on Prajwal Revanna. I'm breaking that story right now. Let's go across straight to that. Prajwal Revanna is a former MP of the JDS. He was suspended by his party. And very, very gory details. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this was the sex tape scandal that hit Karnataka. I'll just take off that plate because it's incomplete. The text is incomplete, so we'll just take off that plate and we'll fix that. Right? So what we know in that particular case is that the charge sheet has been filed. Remember Prajwal Revanna, he was an MP when the case broke out. He is still in jail, and he is the nephew of Union Minister Kumaraswamy. Of course, the family has completely distanced from this controversy, but we have details of the charge sheet. And the details are very, very gory. Prajwal Revanna, who was a parliamentarian, ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it? This former MP, his father was a minister in the state. His grandfather was once the Prime Minister of India. This is Deve Gowda's grandson. And these are some of the very, very disturbing details. We are hearing that the sexual assault survivor, was even attacked by H.D. Revanna. Revanna is the father. Prajwal Revanna sexually assaulted her. His father had assaulted her physically. And then we are hearing that after the sexual assault of this lady who was also a domestic help, the daughter of the domestic help was also blackmailed, sexually blackmailed by this pervert called Prajwal Revanna. So it's a sordid story of how people in power abused their position and power. And I don't have an exact count of how many women were sexually assaulted. But what this pervert also did, and has been detailed in the charge sheet, is that he recorded these acts with his mobile phone. He sexually assaulted women, including his domestic help, and then he blackmailed the daughter of the domestic help and asked her to, compromise in front of him on a mobile phone, and he took screenshots of that, and it just goes on. The details in the charge sheet are gory. Sri Lakshmi, where does the case stand now, and what kind of reactions are we getting to this case?
Yes, it is horrible that this case is proved to be true, if at all. The special investigation team of CID branch has filed a charge sheet against Revanna and his son Prajwal Revanna. The SIT, which is investigating 4 cases of sexual assault and harassment against Prajwal Revanna, filed the 2,144-page long charge sheet, the first in 4 cases before the special court today. It lists over 130 witnesses and also include forensic evidences that confirms that the man in the video clip of the said sexual assault and rape is Prajwal Revanna. As per the charge sheet, HD Revanna sexually harassed the domestic help on multiple instances when she used to work in their house between 2019 to 2022. And this Prajwal Revanna has raped the victim in 2020 when his mother Bhavani Revanna had brought the victim to the city to clean their house. And he has also threatened through a video call to the daughter of this victim multiple times. It is also said that he used to video record all these horrific acts that he used to conduct on women. On April 28th, a first information report was registered against Prajwal Revanna and his father Revanna under section 354A, 354D and 506 criminal intimidation and 509 as well under Indian Penal Code. Now he is currently in judicial custody, and it is a horrific incident Karnataka has ever seen, Niranjan.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us with those details. Sri Lakshmi joining us on the details of the Prajwal Revanna charge sheet. Let's move on now and get you some more breaking news updates now coming in from Hyderabad. Moving on from Bengaluru to Hyderabad. Ladies and gentlemen, the big breaking story from Hyderabad today. Nagarjuna is an actor, and Nagarjuna is a very, very popular actor in Telugu film industry. And his convention hall has been demolished by the government in Telangana. A government body has demolished it in Hyderabad. He put out a very long post today on social media calling it unlawful, saying that this was a case that was ongoing and that he didn't, of course, get into the politics of it, but clearly there is politics involved and you can't deny the politics, because Congress supporters on social media are going all out to say that Nagarjuna, if you had stayed quiet about Pawan Kalyan and not backed Pawan Kalyan and not backed Naidu and not backed Modi, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So clearly there are many violators, but why was Nagarjuna's convention hall picked? Because what is interesting, Aneri, is that it was demolished, and just a few hours back the court has stayed the demolition, but the demolition itself has already happened. Aneri.
Well, that's right, Niranjan. What we have been seeing is that the Hydra committee, which has been recently formed, demolishes such illegal constructions, or basically to more specifically say it is on the FTL level or the buffer zone, then such demolitions will take place. And that is the reason why we see that the N convention, which is owned by the Tollywood actor Nagarjuna, was demolished today early morning, where we see that the Hydra committee officials along with the GHMC officials and the encroachment officials had arrived here. We are still at the spot, as you can. I'll just ask my video journalist to pan around and show you that how this convention center has been completely demolished, because this comes under the FTL level and also the buffer zone, because we also have the official statement from the Hydra committee where they say that that the N convention has been clearly manipulating the system and the process and continuing their commercial activities through the unauthorized structure built on the FTL and buffer zone. The N convention has encroached 1 acre and 12 guntas in FTL and 2 acres and 18 guntas in the buffer zone, and has raised unauthorized structure under the GHMC, and that is the reason why we see that this demolition of N convention has taken place. However, Nagarjuna, taking it to social media, he says that it's unlawful because remember back then in 2014 Nagarjuna had received a notice from the HMDA, which is also one more body where he also had gone to the court and got a stay on that back then in 2014. But now, after the Hydra committee, which has been recently formed after the Congress government came to power, we see that they have been taking up such demolition drives where unauthorized structures have been brought down by this particular committee. However, later we see that Nagarjuna and the N convention had gone ahead to the Telangana High Court and they had approached the court, and now the court has given a stay order on this. Meanwhile, we see that the demolition has already taken place.
Aneri, I'm asking you a straight question. Was it vendetta? Was he selectively chosen for being outspoken in his support for Pawan Kalyan, for Chandrababu Naidu, for Prime Minister Modi?
Well, we have been seeing such talks which have been taking place, but meanwhile we also have been seeing how Nagarjuna in the recent times during the elections also had come out in support of Pawan Kalyan, because remember Pawan Kalyan is a family member, and also Pawan Kalyan supporting the TDP and the BJP has definitely brought a lot of questions on this demolition drive. But then when we also have tried to get some of the documents pertaining to this which have been released by Hydra once again, where we see that the convention center, most of the part of the convention center is coming under the full tank level and the buffer zone, because just adjacent to this convention center, I'll just try to show you this particular lake which has been which is just adjacent to the convention center. This is the lake which we are trying to show, as we are not able to show you clearly, but yes, it is just next adjacent to the convention center, and that is the reason why the Hydra committee has now demolished this. Well, the stay order has been given by the High Court, but we'll have to wait and watch what turns out by the officials into this matter.
Okay. Thank you for joining us with those inputs, Aneri. It's been ongoing for many years. It's surprising that one fine day a Congress government comes in and just decided to demolish it. And after the demolition, ladies and gentlemen, after it's demolished, look at that, it's demolished and then the court stays the demolition. I mean, there's nothing to stay after that. I mean, it's demolished, it's over, it's done. Was he targeted for backing Pawan Kalyan, who by the way also happens to be his relative? Interesting time in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Vendetta, vindictive politics seems to be the flavor of the season. And with that, we come to the end of This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, taking a short break now, but when we come back, Get Me Right with Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, puts stories this week into the right perspective editorially. That's coming up next. Stay tuned.
Are we looking at the possibility of 2 Dalai Lamas in the near future? Is China going to turn the reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama into yet another opportunity to refashion the world order to its own fancies? Also, takeaways from Prime Minister Modi's Ukraine visit. Did we get the timing wrong? Or did India succeed in balancing the West with the rest? On Get Me Right, your go-to deep dive show this weekend, only on Republic.
the taste of success.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
What I find startling is the indie media. You see this greasy indie media, this sponsored indie media, this greased up indie media. They call themselves the conscience keepers for the Indie Alliance. You know the indie media, ladies and gentlemen. We know the indie media as well, and they know themselves. They know exactly what they have done and what they are doing. But it's about time someone says it and really exposes them properly.
What message we are giving to the future generation? If such atrocities will be done on doctors, then no one will want to opt for this profession in future. So please come and support us and build a better, safe place for doctors to work.
Hi there, welcome back. Last week we took a break because of the Independence Day festivities. But Get Me Right is back. Your weekend deep dive show where I unravel and unspool a subject so that you understand like nowhere else. I choose the issue with some topicality in mind, so it's relevant. And it's also for posterity. Even after the immediate news value is gone, you can come back to it as a record of reference. So remember to tune in every week on Saturdays and Sundays. Get Me Right. This week, like I always do, two topics. Earlier in the week, a testy social media exchange caught my attention between the spokesperson of the Chinese embassy in New Delhi and the secretary of the office of the Dalai Lama on who could be the next Dalai Lama, the present Dalai Lama's successor. It was yet another instance of China refashioning the world to its own fancies, or attempting to. We'll go deep into the issue. Also in this edition, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's whirlwind tour of Europe, including to Kiev, Ukraine, which had the world watching closely. We'll understand the short and long implications for India. Let's get going. The Dalai Lama is the supreme spiritual and temporal leader of Tibetan Buddhism. The incumbent is 14th in succession since the institution started sometime in the 14th century. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, is recovering after a knee replacement surgery in the United States and should be back in India this coming week. Just ahead of his arrival, the issue of his successor, the 15th Dalai Lama, turned into a debate in New Delhi because of the exchange I just mentioned. Yu Jing, the new spokesperson of the Chinese embassy, posted on her X handle that the discovery of the next Dalai Lama would have to be within the ambit of Chinese laws. It's actually called reincarnation, but I would come to that in a bit. Jing was responding to a newspaper column a day earlier, written by Secretary of the Office of Dalai Lama in New Delhi, Dundup Gyalpo. In the column, Gyalpo delved on the possibility of the world having two Dalai Lamas in the future. One appointed by China, and the other a reincarnation as per the customs and traditions of Tibetan Buddhist faith. Gyalpo underscored that Tibetans revere Dalai Lama as the emanation of Avalokiteshwar,
the patron saint of Tibet. He is the ultimate symbol of Tibet as a nation and its people. And given that since ancient times, the issue of reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama has been handled 13 times, the incumbent being the 14th, even this time the followers of the faith would be able to do it on their own. So far, so good. What got the grouse of the Chinese spooky, it seems, is that Gyalpo questioned the Chinese locus, China's right to have any say in the process. Despite controlling Tibet since 1959, the year the Dalai Lama escaped from Lhasa and made his way to India in exile, in the eyes of many in the world, legitimacy of Chinese territorial claims have been tenuous at best. Only last month, for example, President Joe Biden of the United States signed into law the Resolve Tibet Act, which denies the historicity of China's territorial claims over Tibet. The new law calls for China to have an unconditional dialogue with the Dalai Lama and his representatives over the future of Tibet. More significantly, the act does not call Tibet an integral part of China and goes on to demarcate the exact boundaries of what constitutes Tibet as distinct from China on the map. The United States has earlier passed two more Tibet-specific laws, one each in 2002 and 2020. The latest one seems toughest in posturing, mincing no words on Chinese claims and conduct. But coming back to the hot exchange, a peeved Jing hit back with a dismissive tone and a certain brashness that characterizes a new generation of China's diplomats called wolf warriors. Jing said that the process of discovery of the next Dalai Lama would be subject to Chinese laws. She also repeated the standard Chinese position that Xinjiang, as the Chinese call the territory, has been part of China since ancient times and is an internal affair of the PRC. To quote her verbatim, the reincarnation of living Buddhas, including the Dalai Lama, must comply with Chinese laws and regulations and follow religious rituals and historical conventions, unquote. She also repeated an earlier Chinese claim that the selection of the present Dalai Lama in 1939 was done with the approval of the then government of China. It was the turn of Gyalpo to put the record straight again. It seems the Chinese only manipulated facts, even real-time telegrams, to make it look like they were involved, all for the sake of posterity. A picture of Chinese envoy Wu Yongxin with the Dalai Lama in 1940 was not of the day of the enthronement ceremony in 1940, for which Wu had been deputed by Beijing to be in Lhasa. It was, in fact, of a few days later when the Chinese envoy was granted a private audience with the new Dalai Lama, like other envoys, including from the British India. Interestingly, I found out that to be present during the ceremony, the Chinese had to take a visa for their representative from the British, giving ample evidence of the Tibetan territory being under loose British suzerainty. In any case, not at all a Chinese one. The British India office in Delhi made it incumbent upon a no objection certificate from the government in Lhasa to issue a visa to the Chinese delegation, which subsequently traveled to Tibet via India. Not only that, while issuing the no objection certificate, the Lhasa government put restrictions on the size of the Chinese delegation that would participate in Dalai Lama's reincarnation ceremony. Now listen to more of what happened. The Chinese applied for visa with British India in the month of April of 1939. The government in Lhasa sent its consent on August 31. The British Indian government in Delhi approved visas for the 19-member Chinese delegation on October 5, and the delegation led by Wu Yongxin left Chongqing on October 21, and travel through Hong Kong, Burma, and India. Sometimes flying, sometimes using sea route, and then via the land route to reach Lhasa in January of 1940. Imagine, had it been a relationship of central and state governments between Beijing and Lhasa, it would not have taken so many permissions, a British visa, and an indirect journey of 3 months for the Chinese to be present during the coronation ceremony of the present Dalai Lama. The nationalist government in Beijing subsequently released an edict, a sort of gazette notification, on February 5, 1940, trying to own up to the reincarnation ceremony of the 14th Dalai Lama. The edict number 898 said that China approves the status of 5-year-old boy Lamo Thondup as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama. Now imagine how foolish the Chinese could be, at least at that time. The process of locating the reincarnation or successor of the 13th Dalai Lama, who had died in 1933, had been set in motion by the Tibetan government in 1937, 4 years before the Chinese edict owning up the Dalai Lama's reincarnation. A party led by High Lama Kyutsang Rinpoche had wandered through the hills and valleys, villages and towns of Tibet for 6 months and more in 1938 and located the boy, Lamo Thondup, in Taksar, near Kombom, in Amdo province of Tibet. Forget about a role in the search. The Chinese did not know what was happening. Is that funny enough? No, let me give you more. Since the Communist Party-led government came to power in China in 1949, they have been after the present Dalai Lama. Just a couple of anecdotes on how the Chinese have conducted themselves. When the first meeting happened between Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and the 19-year-old Lama in Beijing in 1954, the Chinese did not allow the two to speak directly in English. With Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai by their side, Lama spoke in Tibetan, which was translated by a translator to Mandarin, and then the second translator present there translated the Mandarin back to English. Anecdote 2. The Chinese have brought in 2 laws, one in 1992, which says that recognition will not be given to a reincarnation who has escaped to a foreign country. Obviously, the target is the present Dalai Lama, and the possibility of him anointing his successor from outside China. The second law was brought in 2011 after the Dalai Lama said that he would not be reborn in Chinese-controlled Tibet because on that soil he could not serve as a free champion of the Tibetan people. The law now forbids the Dalai Lama to be reborn anywhere but on Chinese-controlled soil. The Chinese government also launched a search engine collecting information on 1,300 plus probable Dalai Lamas. All the names are approved by the Chinese, and guess what? Dalai and Tenzing Gyatso, associated with the present one, are blocked from the search. China sees the Dalai Lama as a separatist. He has been variously called a wolf in a monk's robe or a beast with a man's face. Imagine the irony. An atheistic communist regime wanting to control an avowedly religious process of reincarnation. For Tibetans, Dalai Lama is an article of faith. For the Chinese, a tool for furthering its expansionist agenda. Luckily, the Dalai Lama has spoken with a lot of clarity and foresight on his successor. Irrespective of what the Chinese pull out of their hat, the Tibetans around the world would go by what the Dalai Lama ordains. The world is also pushing back. I mentioned the American law, which Biden signed last month. In India, host to the Dalai Lama since his exile in 1959, as recently as the budget session, we had a Rajya Sabha member from Sikkim, Dorji Shering Lepcha, urged the government to call China border Tibet border.
वैसे आपको पता है जो बॉर्डर है इधर अरुणाचल लेह लद्दाख से लेकर सिक्किम तक करीब 1400 किलोमीटर है, करीब 1400 किलोमीटर है हम लोग बोलते हैं जैसे कि चाइना बॉर्डर, ये चाइना बॉर्डर नहीं, ये नथुला बॉर्डर है, ये चाइना बॉर्डर नहीं, ये तिब्बत बॉर्डर है। क्योंकि जो जितना भी ये LOC है इसमें चाइना नहीं है, इसमें तिब्बत है।
It's a matter of record. Maps of the Ming dynasty that ruled China from 14th to 17th century show Tibet as outside the boundaries of the kingdom, with suzerainty relationship perhaps centered around paying tributes and accepting titles. And lest we forget, as late as 1940, a Chinese envoy needed an Indian visa to reach Tibet.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
You know, in our part of the world, when people meet people, they are given to embracing each other. It may not be part of your culture, but I assure you it's part of ours.
This is high time that females should be protected at their workplace at least. So we have two basic demands which are human rights, for which we have to fight.
Unless we give some kind of a punishment that can make this stop, and until something like that happens, a proper rule is getting implemented, we are not happy.
Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just returned from a whirlwind Europe trip to Poland and Ukraine. Both very important for us not to register on Get Me Right. It was first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Poland in 45 years, and first by any since Ukraine emerged out of the erstwhile USSR in 1991. Those factoids apart, it is to the credit of Modi that he has pushed Indian diplomacy into uncharted territories to expand India's sphere of contact, if not outright influence. Well, there can't be influence without contact. And the Modi government, per one estimate, has connected with at least 50 nations which had not seen an Indian leader visiting them for between 3 to 5 decades. Case in point, Mozambique, when External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar touched down on Maputo
Mozambique's capital, in April last year, it was first time since India's independence that a leader was visiting the Southeast African country orbiting the Indian Ocean. Last decade has seen India establishing diplomatic missions in 21 countries, mostly in Africa, but many in Europe as well. The last one being just this month, when we operationalized our embassy in Tirana, the capital of Albania. Let's go one by one. As the war broke out in 2022, with the Russian attack on Ukraine, it is Poland that has handled much of the humanitarian effort, including largest number of refugees from the conflict zone. It is effectively the only entry port for Ukraine, one which Prime Minister Modi also used to take a 10-hour train ride into Kiev. Joe Biden, Emmanuel Macron, Rishi Sunak, and Olaf Scholz all took the same route to visit Kiev in solidarity with Ukraine. In fact, Poland takes over the EU presidency next year. That sort of underscores the topical significance of Poland as part of Central Europe. Hence the upgradation of the neglected relationship to a strategic partnership during Prime Minister's visit. Even otherwise, the Modi government, as part of its larger engagement push, which I mentioned earlier, has focused on Europe also, with Prime Minister making 26 trips for bilateral and multilateral engagements in his 11 years at the helm. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has done better, with 29 in his 5 years alone. India has signed a trade agreement with EFTA bloc, which includes Norway, Switzerland, Iceland, and Liechtenstein recently. We are in talks for a free trade deal with the larger European Union, as also, of course, the United Kingdom, which should happen soon. Look at the irony now. Warsaw, the capital of Poland, is the place where anti-NATO Warsaw Pact was signed between the Soviet Union and its 7 East European socialist bloc allies: Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Romania. That was in 1955. The Cold War was shaping up, and these Eastern Bloc countries thought NATO's rearming of West Germany was a threat. They needed to band together. Cut to the present. All the erstwhile members of the Warsaw Pact are now part of NATO, Poland included. With Sweden exceeding as a member, NATO is now 32 states strong. When the Cold War ended, NATO had 16 member states, having grown only by 4 since its setting up in 1949. But when the raison d'etre, the reason for the military alliance, the Cold War with Soviet Russia ended with the dissolution of the USSR, NATO continued to expand. Finland and Sweden have joined the grouping after Russia launched its Ukraine war in 2022. Now, just for an irony, which is sad and stupid in equal parts, USSR wanted to join NATO in 1954 and was denied. President Putin has been offering to become a member but has been turned down. Obviously, because the West needs a villain, not peace. So when Modi visited Moscow last month, his photo op with Putin was met with opprobrium, harsh criticism in Western capitals. Putin did not help with a missile strike on a hospital in Kiev, which claimed the lives of 5 children just a day before Modi arrived in Moscow. President Zelensky was most trenchant in his choice of words, calling the visit a huge disappointment and a devastating blow to peace efforts. Remember, this even though Modi had met Zelensky only a fortnight before on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy. Including the meeting the two had in Bali on the sidelines of G20 in 2022, Modi has met Zelensky more times than Putin. But that's how narratives get woven. Given this backdrop, the Kiev visit should make the West see reason on India's balancing act with clean hands. It is not a zero-sum game for us, even if it is for the Western nations. Visiting Kiev on the eve of Ukraine's Independence Day is also not happenstance. There is a message there by India. It was important that we continue to engage with Russia
so that it does not fall further into Chinese vortex, making Beijing influence, if not outrightly set, Moscow's foreign policy positions. An increasingly strong Beijing-Moscow axis towards which, surprisingly, the Western strategic thinkers have been blind to. By visiting Kiev within a month, Modi has assuaged concerns that our Russia tilt was at the expense of the West. Specifically on Ukraine, let's not forget, Soviet presidents, Brezhnev, who stood by India during 1971 war, and Khrushchev, who coined Hindi Rusi Bhai Bhai, both were Ukraine-born. Of the tremendous military hardware of Russian vintage that India has, a good one-third were manufactured in plants located in Ukrainian territory from the Soviet era. Ukraine today is war-torn. It's broken, not just in physical infrastructure, but as a society. A friend who visited Kiev and some other parts of the war-ravaged territory informed me that it might take generations for the Ukrainians to bury the mental trauma of this war. The scars would take a long time to heal. It is here, in rebuilding Ukraine from scratch, that India should look forward to an enduring partnership. Prime Minister Modi, with his visit, has opened a window for India and Ukraine to bury the past and look ahead. Future is here, and it's not a zero-sum game. Thanks for watching.
India launched its first reusable hybrid rocket, Rumi-1. The rocket is developed by the Tamil Nadu-based startup Space Zone India and Martin Group. It was launched from Chennai using a mobile launcher. The rocket carries 3 CubeSat satellites and 50 Pico satellites into a suborbital trajectory. An Indian Air Force plane has been arranged to bring the bodies of 24 tourists who were killed in a road accident in Nepal. This after Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde spoke to Union Home Minister Amit Shah and other senior central officials regarding the issue. Amit Shah has assured him full cooperation from the central government. The incident happened when the bus was en route to Kathmandu from Pokhara. It plunged into a river. As many as 27 tourists were killed. Ahead of the upcoming Haryana Assembly elections, Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan chaired a meeting at his residence. The meeting was attended by Haryana CM Nayab Singh Saini and other leaders. Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha will chair an all-party meeting today to review the flood situation in the state. Yesterday, he inspected flood-affected areas in Gomti and South Tripura areas. The flood situation in Tripura improved slightly yesterday, but vast areas including human habitations in urban and rural areas still remain inundated. Thousands of people have been evacuated due to heavy rains. NHRC has taken suo motu cognizance of the blast at a pharma facility in Andhra Pradesh's Anakapalli area. The blast occurred after a reactor exploded, killing at least 17 workers and injuring 50 others. NHRC has issued notices to the Chief Secretary and DGP to conduct a thorough investigation into the matter.
pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. So tonight, we are going to help everyone get it right. Here to help me are some very special guests. Thank you, ladies. Can you tell us your names?
Hello everybody, my name's Amara. And my name is Leela, her little sister.
And what are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. All right, so let's practice.
Everybody over here, say comma. Everybody over here, say la.
Together.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi concludes the historic first visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Ukraine, one that has come just 6 weeks after his visit to Moscow in the middle of a war.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Polygraph test of prime accused Sanjay Roy to be done tomorrow. Meanwhile, CBI seizes his bike which was spotted at the crime spot. Trouble mounts for former Rajikar principal Sandeep Ghosh. CBI to now probe financial irregularities connected to him.
There are single Hindu people, but we are arresting in last 1 month 35 Muslim influence. So always we blame Hindu. It is not the correct.
Big statement by Himanta Biswa Sarma. He says infiltration at Assam borders increased after unrest in Bangladesh.
कांग्रेस और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का यह गठबंधन राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को लेकर के अनेक बड़े सवाल खड़ा करता है और भारतीय संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखने वाले हर व्यक्ति को चिंतित भी करती है।
Fierce electoral fight breaks out after date of polls announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress, NC join hands. BJP calls it an unholy alliance. Encounter underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla. 1 terrorist eliminated and weapons seized. Trouble mounts for actor Nagarjuna as convention center owned by him in Madhapur razed by Hydra.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Breaking news coming in a big move by the Modi government. The central government has now announced unified pension scheme in place of old and new pension schemes. A unified pension scheme has been announced by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav in a briefing held earlier today. In place of the old pension scheme, a unified pension scheme has been announced, which will be implemented from 1st April 2025. The announcement was made by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. 23 lakh government employees will be benefiting from this decision by the Modi government. Let's listen in to this announcement.
केंद्र सरकार और सरकारी कर्मचारियों के जो बहुत बड़े हिमायती बनते हैं, वैसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टियों का भी अगर हम इतिहास देखें तो वहां पर भी बहुत स्पष्ट तौर पे दिखाई देगा कि जैसे त्रिपुरा में कई वर्षों तक कम्युनिस्ट गवर्नमेंट रही, उन्होंने कभी भी ढंग से टाइम पे कमीशन नहीं रखा। केरला में जब केंद्र सरकार ने 10% से 14% बढ़ाया गवर्नमेंट का कंट्रीब्यूशन, तब केरला की सरकार ने उसको नहीं बढ़ाया। तो जन जन के हित की ध्यान रखना, एम्प्लॉइज के हित की ध्यान रखना, ये भावना और इस तरह की कार्यशैली केवल एनडीए सरकार की है।
Another breaking news coming in. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has slammed the Congress party for joining hands with the National Conference ahead of the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections. He accused the party of risking the country's unity and security for its greed of power. Listen into this bite. So Union Minister Amit Shah has hit out at Congress and National Conference 2 days after they announced an alliance in Jammu and Kashmir ahead of the assembly elections. In the middle of all of this, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti has said that she will continue to back talks with Pakistan. And the BJP is essentially questioning the Congress, saying that, do you also want talks with Pakistan, which the NC has been asking for. A 10-pronged attack by Amit Shah asking Congress, do you back NC's demand for a separate flag for Jammu and Kashmir? Does the Congress back 370 restoration and the return of terrorists? Question 3 from Shah to Rahul and Congress. Does Congress back separatism by asking for dialogue with Pakistan? Does the Congress back nurturing cross-border terror? Does Congress back reinstating terrorist skin in government jobs? Does the Congress back NC's promise to end Dalit quotas? Does Congress want to rename Shankaracharya Hill? Does Congress want to give Jammu and Kashmir economy to Pakistan-backed terrorists? Does Cong back politics of discrimination? Does Congress want NC's divisive politics of giving Kashmir autonomy separate from the country? Listen in to this statement by the Union Home Minister.
नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का जो एजेंडा है, तो उनके अलायंस पार्टनर कांग्रेस पार्टी और श्री राहुल गांधी इसके साथ सहमत है या नहीं है, वो घोषणा करे। एजेंडा क्या है नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का, जिसको प्रिंटेड उन्होंने बांटा है। एजेंडा क्या है? कश्मीर का अलग ध्वज बनेगा राष्ट्र ध्वज के सामने, जो पहले था वो वापस लाना चाहता है। क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी इसके साथ सहमत है? 370 वापस इंट्रोड्यूस करने की मांग रखेंगे। क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी इसके सहमत है? इन्होंने कहा है कि मोदी जी के आने के बाद जो एसटी एससी ओबीसी का रिजर्वेशन मिला 370 जाने के बाद, इस पर हम पुनः विचार करेंगे। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने ये स्पष्टता करनी है कि जम्मू कश्मीर में से एसटी एससी ओबीसी के रिजर्वेशन को समाप्ति की जो बात है, इससे कांग्रेस पार्टी और राहुल गांधी सहमत है या नहीं है? क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी का पुराना इतिहास है, ओबीसी के रिजर्वेशन को इतने सालों तक केवल और केवल कांग्रेस पार्टी ने ही लटका कर रखा। तो इस विषय पर स्पष्टता करना बहुत जरूरी है।
Another breaking news coming in from Baramulla, where a terrorist was eliminated during an encounter in a joint operation by Sopore Police and the 32 Rashtriya Rifles in the Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, Republic has accessed the picture of the terrorist who was killed and the weapons that were seized. On your screens are the weapons that were seized. We have also accessed the picture of the terrorist who was eliminated. On your screens, the encounter is still underway in Baramulla, as we see a rise in infiltration attempt by Pakistani-backed terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir, where we have seen a decline in terror activities in Kashmir. We are seeing growing infiltration attempts in Jammu, and these are the visuals on your screen of the terrorist who was eliminated by the Indian security forces. Actor Nagarjuna's convention center was demolished by the Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection owing to allegations of encroaching the full tank level area and buffer zone. Nagarjuna's convention center allegedly stood on 1.12 acre of the FTL area and an additional 2 acre within the buffer zone. Here's a report filed by my colleague Aniri.
Well, in a major drive by the Hydra committee, where we see that now earlier in the day, the Hydra officials along with the police security had arrived here at the N convention, which is right behind where you can see it is completely demolished by the Hydra. Hydra is the Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection Authority, which has been formed after the Telangana Congress government has formed in the state of Telangana. And now, as you can see, this is the N convention, which is owned by a Tollywood actor Akkineni Nagarjuna, where we see that this particular N convention is said to be under the full tank level, under the buffer zone, which has been constructed on the buffer zone, and that is the reason why now the Hydra committee has completely demolished this particular N convention owned by the Tollywood actor. Well, now we also see that the actor has come out in response to this particular demolition drive which was taken up, where he says that it is not right, pained by the unlawful manner of demolition carried out in respect to the N convention to the existing stay orders. Earlier in 2014 there were stay orders which were issued by the court, but then despite all of that, we see that the Hydra committee has now come out and demolished this particular N convention. As you can see, this is whole lake which is just adjacent to the convention center which has been constructed, but then now it has been demolished by the officials. And also Akkineni Nagarjuna continues to say that I thought it fits to the issue that the statement to place on record that certain facts for protecting my reputation and to indicate that we have not done any action of violation of law is what Nagarjuna has to say. However, now we also see that Nagarjuna has went ahead and filed a petition in the court, and now there is a stay order which has been given by the court over the demolition drive. Meanwhile, we also have been seeing that there is a statement which has been issued by the Hydra committee where they say that today officials of Hydra, GHMC, town planning and other departments in the FTL buffer zones of Tumidi-Kunta lake, that is this particular lake in Madhapur, are amongst the many of the constructions which are done in and around the FTL and buffer zone, and that is the reason why this demolition drive was taken up. But also we have been seeing that now the court has given a stay order over this. Meanwhile, we have been seeing how there has been a political face-off which also has been going on between the BRS and the Congress party over the Hydra committee demolishing such particular constructions which come under buffer zone and the full tank level. This is Anity Shah with Video Journalist for Republic TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived at Palam Airport in Delhi after concluding his two-nation visit to Poland and Ukraine. During his visit, he met Polish President Andrzej Duda and Prime Minister Donald Tusk, as well as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. BJP approached the Delhi High Court alleging discrimination in the installation of CCTV cameras by the Delhi government. The plea claims that the Aam Aadmi Party installed cameras only in areas represented by AAP MLAs and councillors, while areas represented by BJP MLAs and councillors are being overlooked. Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami condemned the Congress National Conference Alliance for Jammu and Kashmir Assembly polls. He said that the Congress party has been exposed for supporting terrorism, separatism and opposing reservation. He further said that for the Congress party and its allies, their party comes first and nation later.
आगामी विधानसभा का चुनाव है, उस चुनाव में जिस प्रकार से कांग्रेस पार्टी और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पार्टी ने आपस में गठबंधन किया है, ये कश्मीर की जनता के साथ एक तरह से धोखा है और ये कश्मीर के जनता के सामने बेनकाब हो गए हैं और कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरे देश के सामने भी बेनकाब हुई है। किस प्रकार से अराजकता को, आतंकवाद को, अलगाववाद को, जिहादियों को समर्थन कर रही है, आरक्षण का विरोध कर रही है।
NCP and SCP Chief Sharad Pawar along with Mahavikas Aghadi party leaders and workers protested against the Badlapur incident where a minor girl was allegedly sexually assaulted at a school. They wore black bands on their arms. Sharad Pawar said that crimes against women are increasing day by day and that the government should take this incident seriously. A scuffle erupted between BRS and Congress women workers in front of the Telangana State Women Commission office in Hyderabad. Mahila Congress workers protesting in front of KTR's vehicle and stopped him when he came there. Congress women were demanding that KTR should apologize to women for his alleged comments against women. Indian Air Force's Mi-17 and ALH helicopters are continuing flood relief operations in Tripura. NDRF personnel are also inducted into disaster-struck areas. Operating from Agartala, the helicopters airdropped over 4,000 food packets to stranded locals. So far, a total of 28 tons of relief material has been airlifted. Union Minister Raksha Kharse and Nepal Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak met the victims of bus tragedy at a hospital in Kathmandu. The incident happened after the bus plunged into a river, killing at least 27 Indians and injuring 16 others. A case of hit and run has come to light from Pune, where a container truck hit a car, killing one person and injuring two others. The incident took place on the 21st of August and the car carrying 4 friends was hit by a speeding truck. The driver of the container truck was drunk when this happened. Investigation has been launched by the police. Officials of Hyderabad Disaster Management and Asset Protection Agency, along with the police, carried out a demolition drive at N Convention Centre in Rangareddy district. The land reportedly comes under the FTL zone and belongs to Telugu actor Nagarjuna. Police force has been deployed to ensure that the demolition is carried out smoothly. A container truck caught fire in Patna, reportedly causing a casualty. Goods inside the truck were gutted due to the fire. Police is investigating the case to find out if the driver was intoxicated when the incident happened. The Delhi police busted an Al-Qaeda module, arresting 11 people and detaining 3 others across Jharkhand, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. They carried out at least 15 raids in collaboration with the police forces of the involved states after receiving intelligence inputs. Delhi Police's special cell has arrested 6 suspected Al-Qaeda terrorists in the forests of Bhiwadi area of Rajasthan, after which every intelligence agency is keeping an eye on this part of the state. These terrorists had set up their training center in the forests of Chopanki area, from where they were given tasks including handling weapons and recce of the surrounding area. Rajasthan ATS along with Delhi Police is also jointly interrogating the suspects, and further action will be taken on the identification of the terrorists. Now, Republic is the first channel that went to the spot and found the place in the forest where the suspected Al-Qaeda terrorists had come for training. Here's a report.
राजस्थान के मेवात से सटे जिस जंगल में मैं मौजूद हूं, इसी जंगल में दरअसल अलकायदा के 6 संदिग्ध आतंकियों को दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम ने राजस्थान पुलिस की मदद से पकड़ लिया। और उसके बाद अब सूत्र हमारे ये कहते हैं कि इसी इलाके में, ये जो आप खाली इलाका देख रहे हैं, ये पत्थरों से भरा घने जंगल वाला इलाका है और यहीं पे इसी जगह दिल्ली पुलिस ने एक रेड की, जिसमें 6 संदिग्ध जो अलकायदा के आतंकी थे वो पकड़े गए। उनके बारे में ये बताया जाता है कि ये जो संदिग्ध आतंकी थे, ये यहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग का एक हिस्सा बनाना चाहते थे। यहाँ पे गोला बारूद के साथ साथ में AK-47 की जो डमी गन होती है वो यहाँ से मिली है, और तमाम सबूतों को, साक्ष्यों को दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम लेकर के अपने साथ में गई है। अब उन्हीं की निशानदेही पर लगातार राजस्थान पुलिस की जो टीम है वो एक्टिव हुई है और तमाम इलाकों को जो है एक-एक सबूतों को यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं पुलिस छानबीन कर रही है। इसी इलाके से ठीक मेरे जो पीछे है, महेश दिखाएं एक बार, कि ये जो ठीक मेरे पीछे हिस्सा है, यहीं से ही पुलिस ने कई सबूत जो हैं वो इकट्ठे किए हैं और माना यही जा रहा है कि इस इलाके को मुफीद रहने के लिए आतंकियों ने, संदिग्ध जो आतंकी थे, उन्होंने चुना था। दरअसल यहाँ से महज 2 से 2.5 किलोमीटर दूर आप जाएंगे तो एक हाईवे आपको मिल जाएगा, अप्रोच हाईवे। इसके अलावा पास में ही जो हरियाणा की सीमा जो है वो शुरू हो जाती है। इसके साथ साथ में ये पूरी टेरिटरी जो है वो राजस्थान की है और दिल्ली से सटा होने के साथ साथ में ये टेरिटरी के साथ में आप देखेंगे कि नाले, ये नाले जो हैं ये बरसाती नाले हैं जो पहाड़ से आते हैं। ये पूरा का पूरा एक पैच है जो पानी में चलता, आप देख सकते हैं कि इस तरीके से ये पूरा का पूरा पैच है जो पानी इसमें चलता है और घने जंगल पहाड़ जो हैं वो यहाँ पे हैं। यही वजह थी कि इस जगह को जो है वो चुना गया था और उसके बाद यहाँ पे ये एक्सक्लूसिव रिपोर्ट जो है वो हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। रिपब्लिक पहला ऐसा चैनल है जो इस जगह पे पहुंचा है और इस जगह से हम आपको एक्सक्लूसिव रिपोर्ट जो है वो दिखा रहे हैं। अलकायदा के 6 संदिग्ध आतंकी राजस्थान के जिस जंगल में छुपे हुए थे और ट्रेनिंग कैंप बनाने के फिराक में थे और ट्रेनिंग ले रहे थे, वो जगह मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं। रिपब्लिक भारत पहला ऐसा चैनल है जो आपको उस लोकेशन पे लेके पहुंचा। यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे, यहाँ पे ये कार्टन जो है वो कार्टन के अंदर समोसे जो है वो मिले हैं और यहीं पे ही दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम ने राजस्थान पुलिस के साथ सहयोग करके एक रेड की थी। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं ये पानी की बॉटल्स के पाउच हैं, पानी की बॉटल्स हैं, चाय के कप्स हैं। इसके साथ साथ में यहाँ पे अनुसंधान करने के लिए राजस्थान की एक पुलिस की जो टीम है, अधिकारी, वो भी यहाँ पे चप्पे चप्पे को छान रहे हैं। इसके अलावा यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से ये है स्किन प्लास्टर, ये स्किन प्लास्टर। सर आप जो ये देखिए तमाकू आप देखेंगे, स्किन प्लास्टर आप देखेंगे। तो जंगल में जिस जगह मैं मौजूद हूँ, ये आप देखेंगे किस तरीके से यहाँ पे एक सबूत जुटाने की तैयारी राजस्थान पुलिस की टीम से भी हो रही है। लेकिन यहाँ आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से बॉटल्स, चाय के कप, डिस्पोजल कप जो है वो हैं। इसके अलावा ये देखिए, ये आपको मिलेगा, ये मेडिकल प्लास्टर है, ये बैंडेज जिसे कहा जाता है। ये एक बार महेश दिखाएं तो ये तस्वीर देखें कि ये यहाँ पे पड़ी हुई है, और एक नहीं है, स्किन प्लास्टर इस तरीके से 2-3 हैं। तो यहाँ संभवतः कैंप जो था वो था। आप यहाँ पे देखें, ये देखिए बैंडेज जो है वो बहुत बड़ी तादाद में यहाँ पे हैं, 1 2 3 4 5 6 इस तरीके से यहाँ निकले। और यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे तो बॉटल्स, पानी की बोतल जो है वो है, यानी कि जंगल में एक बार पानी की बोतल जब लेकर के आई जाती है तो एक लंबे टाइम के लिए किस तरीके से सरवाइव करना था, किस तरीके से। लेकिन यहाँ पे तमाम सबूतों को इकट्ठा करती हुई जो राजस्थान पुलिस है वो भी दिखाई दे रही है। यहाँ पे देखिए समोसे के कुछ टुकड़े जो हैं वो भी हैं। इसके अलावा यहाँ पे ये समोसे देखिए आप, 6 संदिग्ध आतंकियों को संभवतः यहाँ इसी इलाके से जो जहाँ पुलिस छानबीन कर रही है यहीं पकड़ा गया था। सर क्या क्या मिला है आपको, कुछ बताएंगे आप?
पानी की बोतल है, समोसे हैं और
क्लिप भी मिली है सर, पेपर क्लिप
बिल्कुल मिली है, पेपर क्लिप भी मिली हुई है। और ये स्किन प्लास्टिक के जो है, जो लग जाती है उसकी पट्टी वगैरह करने के लिए, वो भी मिली है।
सर एक बार क्लिप दिखा देंगे एक बार? तो ये आप पेपर क्लिप आप देख सकते हैं कि जंगल में इन पेपर क्लिप्स का क्या काम है। दरअसल इसको जो है पेपर को होल्ड करने के लिए लगाया जाता है। तो ये इस इलाके से मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ किस तरीके से सब कुछ मिला है। अलकायदा के 6 संदिग्ध आतंकी राजस्थान के जिस हिस्से में ट्रेनिंग कैंप चला रहे थे, उस हिस्से पर रिपब्लिक भारत पहला ऐसा चैनल है जो पहुंचा है। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, ये वो ट्रेनिंग सेंटर के लिए जगह मुफीद की गई थी उन संदिग्ध आतंकियों की हिसाब से, और उसके बाद यहाँ से ही वो अपने ट्रेनिंग को चलाना चाहते थे, यहीं से ही सारा जो नेटवर्क था वो चलाना चाहते थे। यहाँ पे अभी देख सकते हैं पुलिस के कुछ बड़े अधिकारी जो हैं वो मौके पर तलाशी लेने के लिए बार बार यहाँ अलग अलग हिस्से में घूम रहे हैं, और यहाँ पे तलाशी जो है वो चल रही है। यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से यहाँ पे पानी के बॉटल्स जो हैं वो आपको यहाँ पे मिलेंगी। साथ में आपको जो कार्टून हैं, वो कार्टन जो है वो खाने पीने से रिलेटेड जो है वो मिलेंगे। तो इस पूरे इलाके को सूत्रों की माने तो बताया जाता है कि 6 जो संदिग्ध आतंकी थे वो ट्रेनिंग कैंप के हिस्से के रूप में इस जगह को मुफीद किए हुए थे, और यहीं पे ही इसी तरीके से लगातार यहाँ पे से ही दिल्ली पुलिस की जो टीम थी, स्पेशल टीम, उसने आकर के कार्रवाई को अंजाम दिया। सपोर्ट में राजस्थान की पुलिस थी, और यहाँ से उन्होंने डमी AK-47 यानी कि डमी AK-47 जहाँ चलाना सिखाया जाता था, किस तरीके से ट्रेनिंग लेनी है, ये सुनिश्चित करने के लिए वो जगह थी। इसके ठीक आसपास की अगर मैं बात करूँ तो ये ठीक साथ में ही एक हाईवे है। ये हाईवे जो है ये स्टेट हाईवे है, वो निकलता है। ये पूरा जंगल का इलाका आप देखेंगे दूर दराज तक, जहाँ तक आपकी नज़र जाएगी ये सारा का सारा जंगल का इलाका है। और यही कारण है कि हर जगह एक एक सबूत को जुटाने का काम जो है पुलिस कर रही है। और ये तस्वीर जो है मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ कि यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से शुरुआती जो जांच है अब वो राजस्थान पुलिस भी करने लगी है। दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम जो थी वो तो कर ही रही थी, इसके साथ साथ में राजस्थान की जो पुलिस है वो भी अपने हिसाब से अब जांच कर रही है।
Fierce electoral fight breaks out after date of polls announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress, NC join hands. BJP calls it an unholy alliance.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
You know, in our part of the world, when people meet people, they are given to embracing each other. It may not be part of your culture, but I assure you it's part of ours.
message we are giving to the future generation. If such atrocities will be done on doctors, then no one will want to opt for this profession in future. So please come and support us and build a better, safe place for doctors to work.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. It's come.
Very good evening and thank you for tuning in. I'm Suesha Sant as we get you the latest as far as the investigation in the RG Kar case is concerned. Also, how the BJP is going all guns blazing, questioning the Congress of its alliance with the NC ahead of the polls in Jammu and Kashmir. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines we're tracking. In a big move by the Modi government, central government has announced unified pension scheme in place of old and new pension.
Members of the associations who are representing the central government employees, they are all very happy about this movement.
Polygraph test of prime accused Sanjoy Roy to be done tomorrow. Meanwhile, CBI seizes his bike which was spotted at the crime spot. Trouble mounts for former RG Kar principal Dr. Sandeep Ghosh. CBI to now probe financial irregularities connected to him.
There is a single Hindu people, but we are arresting in last 1 month 35 Muslim influence. So always we blame Hindu. It is not the correct.
Big statement by Himanta Biswa Sarma. He says infiltration at Assam borders increased after unrest in Bangladesh. Fierce electoral fight breaks out after date of polls announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress NC join hands. BJP calls it an unholy alliance. Trouble mounts for actor Nagarjuna. Convention centre owned by him in Madhapur razed by Hydra. And well, with the pressure that has been mounting as far as CBI's crackdown on the RG Kar rape and murder case is concerned, The hunt is on for the culprits. A polygraph test that will be conducted on arrested accused Sanjoy Roy tomorrow is the latest we've learnt. Meanwhile, SIT constituted by the Mamata government to probe the Arjikar incident handed over documents to the CBI in connection with the probe into Ghosh's alleged corrupt dealings at Arjikar. Getting you all the details in this report.
Moving through the gears in its probe into the Arjikar rape and murder, the CBI conducted a polygraph test on former principal Sandeep Ghosh. As chants for justice continued to ring out in the streets, the former Arjikar principal was put through the test. 4 junior doctors who were at Arjikar on the night of the ghastly crime also underwent a polygraph test at the CBI's Kolkata office. Meanwhile, the SIT formed by the Mamata government to probe the horrific rape and murder case handed over some documents to the CBI in connection with its probe into Ghosh's alleged corrupt dealings at Arjikar Hospital. Earlier, the CBI got legal sanction to probe serious charges of financial impropriety against the former Arjikar principal. It is alleged that Ghosh was the kingpin of a medical waste racket at Arjikar and was also involved in the smuggling and sale of unclaimed bodies.
He is a criminal. He is not doctor. He is a criminal and he is running. Right now, he used to run a mafia raj in Arjikar Medical College and Hospital. He malpracticed by illegal trafficking of biomedical waste like used syringe, used needle, used rubber gloves, used saline bottle like this. As Sandeep Ghosh wants to be a more powerful and for the sake of money, he did a lot of irregularities including donating of dead bodies for workshop.
In a related development, a delegation of the protesting Arjikar doctors met the CBI probe team, urging it to take the investigation to its logical end at the earliest and nail all the culprits.
कल हम लोगों का एक 5 आदमी का जो प्रतिनिधि हम लोग गए थे सीबीआई ऑफिस सीजीओ कॉम्प्लेक्स, वहाँ पे भी हम लोगों का कुछ मतलब सेटिस्फाइड आंसर नहीं मिला सीबीआई से. तो इसलिए गण कन्वेंशन इसलिए था, सब जो एक एक करके जो आंदोलन में हिस्सा हो रहा है उनसे भी थोड़ा बातचीत करना, उनका सजेशन लेना, किस तरीके से आंदोलन को, ये प्रोटेस्ट को आगे बढ़ाना है, किस तरीके से ये जस्टिस को हासिल करना है.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
Meanwhile, the Arjikar horror continued to evoke outrage in the country and beyond, as protesters came out on the streets in London chanting justice for Abhaya. As the CBI goes one step closer to nailing the culprits behind the Arjikar incident, the nation awaits the full might of justice on the perpetrators.
And while there is nationwide outrage over the brutal rape and murder of Abhaya, people are on the streets demanding justice for her. Amid all this, another case that has come to light from Assam, where a minor girl was allegedly gang raped by at least 3 men, and now the Assam government assuring people that the 2 who are on the run will be nabbed soon. Here's the report.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
The entire nation is on the streets to demand justice for Abhaya.
We want justice!
And amidst this, another horrific case has come to light from Assam. A 14-year-old girl was allegedly gang raped by 3 persons in the Nagaon district on Thursday. Yesterday, the prime accused Tafazul Islam was taken to the crime spot by the police, where he tried to flee by jumping into a pond. He was later pronounced dead.
That one of the prime accused in this incident, Tafazul Ali, was nabbed by the police last evening. However, when he was brought here for reconstruction of the crime scene, he managed to give a slip to the police and jumped into this specific pond, this particular pond, in order to escape the police. However, he got drowned and his body was recovered a short while back from this particular pond.
14-15 साल के लड़के ट्यूशन से आ रहे थे, वो वापस आ रहे थे, उसी टाइम में वो तीन दरिंदे थे वहाँ पे, वो लोग आके उसको उस जगह पे जाके रेप किया है। ये मतलब हम लोग को समाज के लिए बहुत दुखदायक घटना है।
The brutal incident took place when the girl was returning from a coaching class. She was found in a semi-conscious state near a pond with a bicycle beside her. 2 other suspects also remain absconding. Locals are staging protests. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has vowed strict punishment for the accused.
ढींग में घटना हुआ, मैं तुरंत डीजीपी को भेजा, 2 लोगों को 2-3 घंटा में ही अरेस्ट किया, मंत्री भी उधर चला गया और आगे का भी कठोर कार्रवाई होगा ही होगा। जब ऐसा घटना होता है सरकार को बहुत एग्रेसिव एक्शन लेना चाहिए। बंगाल में सरकार ने लिया नहीं, इसीलिए लोग नाराज हो गया।
हमारा गवर्नमेंट ने और हम लोग का मुख्यमंत्री ने जो ड्रास्टिक एक्शन इधर में लिया और 2 एक्यूज है, उन लोग को भी जल्दी से जल्दी उनको हम लोग निकालेगा। उनका ऊपर बहुत ज़बरदस्ती जो करना है हम लोग कर लेगा।
But how long will India's daughters continue to remain unsafe in their own country?
Moving on, after sealing an alliance for the upcoming Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections at a meeting between the Abdullahs and Congress heavyweights, Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge, the discord between the NC and the Congress over the allocation of seats that has now come out in the open. A National Conference leader who has threatened in the open, saying that the seat in Banihal will not be given to the Congress in any which way, and the rift that is out there where the BJP not just questioning the Congress over this alliance but also calling it an unholy alliance. Here are all the details.
The alliance between the National Conference and the Congress for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly polls ran into tough waters after an NC leader openly threatened rebellion.
तंजीम की जिम्मेदारी मिली, जब इसको पीसीसी का चीफ बनाया गया तो इसने वहां भी लूट खसूट की और 2 साल के अंदर इसको निकाल बाहर कर दिया गया। इसको पीसीसी की उस ओहदे से उसी दिन हटा दिया गया जिस दिन नोटिफिकेशन निकला, और उस दिन के उस दूसरे दिन तमाम अखबारों पे यह बयानात आए कि भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में खुर्द-बुर्द के इल्जाम पे इसको निकाल दिया गया।
Addressing party supporters, National Conference leader Sajjad Shaheen voiced his dissent over the proposed allocation of the Banihal Assembly segment to the Congress. Calling former Jammu and Kashmir Congress chief Viqar Rasulwani, who is tipped to contest the seat, a thief, Shaheen said he was prepared to do whatever that is needed if the seat went to the Congress. Signalling a further deepening of the cracks in the India alliance, the Shiv Sena UBT declared that it would go solo in the upcoming assembly elections.
Ahead of the seat sharing between National Conference and the Congress party in Jammu and Kashmir, National Conference leader has gone all guns blazing against the former chief of the Congress party, Viqar Rasulwani. The district president of National Conference from the Ramban district, Sajjad Shaheen, has gone all out and termed the former Congress chief as robber. He said that PCC chief was removed from his chair soon after the announcement of the assembly polls to the J&K.
The declaration followed close on the heels of the Aam Aadmi Party announcing that it would fight the elections on its own team.
कि अकेले के साथ साथ हम पहली बार जो है जम्मू कश्मीर की विधानसभा में लड़ रहे हैं, और जम्मू ही नहीं, हम कश्मीर के अंदर भी जो है अपने उम्मीदवारों की आज घोषणा की गई है। 8 उम्मीदवार हमने यहाँ खड़े किए हैं। हमारी जो पहली सूची आई है, जिसके साथ संकल्प पत्र भी जो है कल पार्टी हाईकमांड के साथ गहन विचार विमर्श के बाद इस सूची को जो है वो अंतिम रूप दिया गया है, संकल्प पत्र को अंतिम रूप दिया गया है। हमारे पार्टी पक्ष प्रमुख माननीय उद्धव बाला साहब ठाकरे के निर्देशानुसार शिवसेना अपने बलबूते पर जो है तमाम चुनावों के जम्मू कश्मीर का विधानसभा चुनाव लड़ेगी।
Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath came down heavily on the Congress over its alliance with the National Conference for the Jammu and Kashmir polls. Invoking the SC's manifesto, Yogi asked if the Congress supports the latter's promise to restore Article 370 to the valley and revive talks with Pakistan.
कांग्रेस और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का यह गठबंधन राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को लेकर के अनेक बड़े सवाल खड़ा करता है और भारतीय संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखने वाले हर व्यक्ति को चिंतित भी करती है.
Addressing a press conference, BJP leader Tarun Chung warned against attempts to repeat historic mistakes.
क्या जम्मू कश्मीर की धरती पर भारतीय तिरंगे का अपमान होगा? क्या किसी प्रदेश में दो झंडों की ओर जाया जा सकता है? क्या नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के षड्यंत्र में कांग्रेस पूरी तरह भागीदार है? देश जानना चाहता है. और राहुल गांधी जी ने जो 3 दिन पहले जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर हाथों में हाथ डालकर जो घोषणा की है, आज उस घोषणा से पूरे देश के मन में कई प्रश्न खड़े हुए हैं.
Earlier, BJP Smriti Irani called on the Congress to come clean on whether it stands with the anti-India stance of Ally National Conference.
Every Indian has resolved incessantly that we as one nation have one constitution, one flag. Does the Congress party believe not in one constitution but do nishan, do pradhan and do samvidhan? The unholy alliance gives rise to many a question.
As the BJP guns for the Congress, Rahul should answer if he wants to go ahead with the NC deal at the expense of national security.
Moving on, as the dates for the assembly elections have now been announced for Jammu and Kashmir, voting awareness programs that are being organized to ensure that the message spreads out about people who have voting rights in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, in Udhampur, a cultural program that was announced by an organization called SWEEP. This primarily promoting participation of school children who spread awareness through skits and dances to put out that message. Here's that report.
As Jammu and Kashmir gears up for assembly polls, programs are being held to raise awareness about voting. A cultural program was organized in Udhampur by the Systematic Voters Education and Electoral Participation, also called as SWEEP. School children participated in this program. They also highlighted the importance of voter awareness through cultural dances. Several skits were also performed. SWEEP Udhampur Nodal Officer Dr. Preeti Sharma appealed to the citizens to cast their votes in the upcoming elections.
आने वाले असेंबली इलेक्शंस के चलते हमने स्वीप कैंपिंग स्टार्ट की है. उसी की कड़ी को जोड़ते हुए आज ये हमारा प्रोग्राम था. यहाँ बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छा कल्चरल प्रोग्राम किया जिसमें उन्होंने ये मैसेज डिलीवर किया कि एक वोट की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, और बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में बताया और स्किट्स वगैरह की, डांसेस किए, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा.
And well, a sprawling convention center in Hyderabad that is owned by South superstar Nagarjuna faced bulldozer action over alleged violation of regulations. Dramatic pictures showing how the Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection rolled out the bulldozer to raze that property. The actor took to social media to voice his anguish, and he said that this property or anything that was built was not against any rule or was violated. Here's that report.
South superstar Nagarjuna Akineni faced bulldozer action on Saturday as a lavish property owned by him was razed to the ground. The action was taken by Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection Unit. Dramatic visuals showed a bulldozer tearing down the N Convention Center, the property sprawling over a 10-acre plot. According to reports, the demolition followed allegations of illegal construction.
The Hydra officials along with the police security had arrived here at the N convention, which is right behind where you can see it is completely demolished by the Hydra. And now as you can see, this is the N convention, which is owned by a Tollywood actor Akineni Nagarjuna, where we see that this particular N convention is said to be under the full tank level, under the buffer zone, which has been constructed on the buffer zone, and that is the reason why now the Hydra committee has completely demolished this particular N convention owned by the Tollywood actor.
Reports claimed further that the convention center had dodged regulatory action by the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation owing to the clout its owners wield. The actor meanwhile took to his X handle to voice his anguish and dismay over the bulldozer action, citing a stay order. Even as the superstar's luxurious property was reduced to rubble, the big question is, did the action follow due process?
And moving on to news from Karnataka, where SIT probe on the sex tape scandal has now gathered further momentum. SIT's charge sheet, where roughly around 2,000 pages have featured accounts from over 150 victims who've all gone on to put out details of what Prajwal Revanna did. Here's that report.
The Special Investigation Team probe on the alleged sex scandal involving Prajwal and HD Revanna seems to have gathered momentum. The SIT's charge sheet brings to the fore scathing allegations against the father-son duo. SIC's explosive charge sheet comprises around 2,000 pages and has featured accounts from 150 witnesses.
ये चार्जशीट के बाद प्रज्वल रेवन्ना के ऊपर कैसा इन्वेस्टिगेशन कंटिन्यू होता है और 3 केस में चार्जशीट कब फाइल करने के लिए अभी एसआईटी टीम भी सोच रहा है। अभी चार्जशीट में एफएसएल रिपोर्ट का भी फाइनल रिपोर्ट पहुंचने के बाद वो पूरा चार्जशीट फाइल करने का एसआईटी टीम प्लान भी कर रहा है।
Revanna has been accused of raping his domestic help at his Holenarasipura residence. Not only this, he is also facing charges of raping the same woman in their Basavanagudi residence in Bengaluru. The charge sheet also mentions that Prajwal allegedly forced the maid's daughter to strip on a video call. Trouble on the Revannas only seems to be mounting. HD Revanna might possibly be charged under IPC Section 354 and IPC Section 354A. Meanwhile, there are scathing allegations against the son. Prajwal is being questioned under the provisions of the IPC Section 376, 354, 354A and 354B. With scathing charges coming to the fore, all eyes on High Court's reception of this explosive charge sheet.
And moving on, as according to the police, 6 terrorists who are linked to the Al-Qaeda were arrested in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi while undergoing weapons training. Republic was the first channel to reach the ground where these terrorists were allegedly training. These are the reports that have been filed.
An Al-Qaeda terror cell was busted in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi district. 6 alleged terrorists were arrested in a raid by the cops. A huge stock of arms and ammunition, as well as explosives and documents, was seized from their possession.
यहाँ पे से ही दिल्ली पुलिस की जो टीम थी, स्पेशल टीम, उसने आकर के कार्रवाई को अंजाम दिया। सपोर्ट में राजस्थान की पुलिस थी और यहाँ से उन्होंने डमी AK-47 यानी कि डमी AK-47 जहाँ चलाना सिखाया जाता था, किस तरीके से ट्रेनिंग लेनी है, ये सुनिश्चित करने के लिए वो जगह थी।
The investigation seems to be on with full force. This comes after the Delhi police earlier arrested 11 people and detained 3 others across Jharkhand, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh.
काफ़ी लोग पकड़े गए हैं, काफ़ी सारे इंक्रिमिनेटिंग लिटरेचर और वेपन्स की रिकवरी हुई है, उस पर फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है। जब उसका कुछ नतीजा निकलेगा तो आप जरूर बताएंगे।
They carried out at least 15 raids in collaboration with the police forces of the involved states upon the reception of intelligence inputs. This comes after the special cell of the Delhi police had registered a case under Section 61 of criminal conspiracy under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita on July 15. It was Republic TV that reached before everyone else to the spot where these Al-Qaeda terrorists were allegedly being trained.
दिल्ली पुलिस सामान लेकर के गई तो उन्हीं सामानों से बहुत कुछ निकला, जिसको दिल्ली पुलिस जो है वो भी जांच रही है, राजस्थान की पुलिस भी जांच रही है। ये हिस्सा जो मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ, ये तमाम ये गद्दे, तकिए, पिलो जो हैं, चादर, चटाई, ये सारी जो सामान जो है वो इसी कमरे में है और इसी कमरे में वो रहने वाले थे, रुकने वाले थे, जिसका पेमेंट जो था वो एडवांस दिया था 3000 रुपये। उससे पहले एक बगल में कमरा जो था वो भी तैयार हो रहा था, उस पर भी रहने वाले थे। लेकिन उससे ठीक पहले ही जब तक अपने मंसूबों को कामयाब जो थे अलकायदा के 6 आतंकी करते, उससे ठीक पहले एक ऑपरेशन हुआ, दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम यहाँ पे पहुंची और उनको यहाँ से धर दबोचा।
Followed by which the anti-terror unit has been gathering information about the suspects. According to reports, they had been residing in Rajasthan for the past few days. As more and more skeletons stumble out in this case, all eyes are on the special cell police's probe in the Al-Qaeda module busting case.
And well, we now get you details of a private chopper that went down in the poor village of Pune on Saturday. Dramatic pictures from the scene that showed the wreckage of the chopper after it crashed in that village. 4 persons who were on board, including the pilot, and the reasons for why the chopper met with that accident is yet to be ascertained. Now, according to reports, the pilot was hospitalized with injuries while the others got off unscathed. Here's that report.
A helicopter crashed in the Paud village of Pune on Saturday. The chopper belonging to a private aviation company went down during its flight to Hyderabad from Mumbai. 4 persons, including the pilot, were on board the private helicopter when it crashed. Dramatic visuals showed the chopper lying in a wreck after the accident. Sharing details of the accident, SP of Pune Rural Police, Pankaj Deshmukh, said the pilot was admitted to a hospital with injuries while the others were stable.
एक पायलट जो है वह जख्मी है और 3 इनके को पैसेंजर जो है उनको माइनर इंजरीज है। जो इनके पायलट है उनको हॉस्पिटलाइज किया गया है और वहाँ पर अभी एज ए फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर पुलिस की टीम वहाँ उपलब्ध है और आगे की इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है।
The DGCA meanwhile ordered a probe into the incident. The probe by the aviation regulator will shed light into the reasons for the crash.
The taste of success.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome viewers, I am Aishwarya Kapoor and you are watching The Burning Question. But let's begin with the headlines first. In a big move by the Modi government, viewers. It's a big move. Central government announces unified, mind my words, unified pension scheme in place of old or new pension. It's going to be UPS now. Polygraph test of Prime accused Sanjay Roy to be done tomorrow. Meanwhile, CBI seizes his bike, which was spotted, beg your pardon, at the crime spot. Trouble mounts for former RG Kar principal Sandeep Ghosh. CBI to now probe financial irregularities connected with the man.
That a single Hindu people, but we are arresting in last 1 month 35 Muslim influence. So always we blame Hindu. It is not the correct.
Big statement by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. He says infiltration at Assam borders increased after unrest in Bangladesh.
नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का जो एजेंडा है तो उनके अलायंस पार्टनर कांग्रेस पार्टी और श्री राहुल गांधी इसके साथ सहमत है या नहीं है वो घोषणा करे। एजेंडा क्या है नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का?
A fierce electoral fight breaks out after date of polls announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress, NC join hands. BJP calls it an unholy alliance, viewers. Unholy is the word. Trouble mounts for actor Nagarjuna as convention center owned by him in Madhavpur razed by Hydra. Well, viewers, the country has just seen a very high octane, and I repeat, a very high octane 2024 general elections. Post which we saw Narendra Modi being sworn in as the Prime Minister of India for the third time, and Rahul Gandhi for the first time becoming the leader of opposition, getting a constitutional authority, which the opposition and the Congress party, to be specific, takes as if it's equal to the Prime Minister. That's their viewpoint. But the topic today is that the general elections are over and the country, viewers, is ready for another very high octane, very high octane adrenaline rush election again. I'm talking about elections in Jammu and Kashmir. For the first time in the last 10 years, viewers, for the last 5 years, there has been no democratically elected state government in Jammu and Kashmir. And we all know, every Indian knows that how important Jammu and Kashmir is for India. So it's going to be very high octane. I'll give you some dates. Jammu and Kashmir is on 18th September, 25th and 1st of October. But the point I'm trying to make is, and all the other red maps or the states which you were seeing in the map are the states of Jharkhand, Haryana, Maharashtra, and one thing which is left is of Delhi as well, which is right next to Haryana. It's a bit smaller, but you might have missed that. From now, that is end of August till February, it's packed with elections, viewers, packed with elections. And this is just months after the general election. So I am forced to remember what the Prime Minister said on 15th of August from the Red Fort, That is it time for one nation, one poll. As a country, our leaders are 24/7, 365 engaged in election. General election is over. Jammu Kashmir is here. Haryana is here. It gets over. Jharkhand and Maharashtra comes over. That gets over. UP by-election comes in. That gets over. Delhi comes in. When will they act? When will they act for you and me? When will they act for the people of this country? When will we talk to them about women's safety? About what has happened in Kolkata? About what has happened? 1,300 plus rape cases have been registered in our country after 77 years of independence, viewers. Just suppose the Bengal Act. Just suppose the Bengal horrendous act. Just suppose that I'm talking about. It's a societal issue, but can we talk to our politicians about that? No. Why? Because they're busy in elections. Whether it's the ruling dispensation or the opposition, are they talking about it? No. You talk to them, they say it's a distraction. That's exactly what Rahul Gandhi said. And you know why? Because they're busy in elections. Jammu and Kashmir is going to be a very, very important election. Why? Because Jammu and Kashmir has not seen an election for the last 10 years. And for the last 5 years, there has been no democratically elected state government. First time Jammu and Kashmir is going to polls after Article 370 and 35A have been revoked. Congress party, in the meanwhile, has gotten into alliance with the NC. That is Omar Abdullah Farooq Abdullah's NC, in which there is another tussle, whether they accept or not, between the father and the son. Father comes out and say, I will contest the elections. Omar will not. Omar will contest only when Jammu and Kashmir gets a complete statehood. So father says, I'll take care for now. Omar comes in when the statehood comes in. Omar says, I am getting into an alliance with Congress. Thank you very much. And then you talk about the Mufti family. Late Mufti Saab, the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. You have Mehbooba Mufti. You have the other sister. Will BJP get into an alliance with them? No. BJP is very clear, no. But in an assembly of 90 viewers, in an assembly of 90 in Jammu and Kashmir, and these are the other players in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. In an assembly of 90, BJP is set to contest 43. And even if you give 100% strike rate, which is next to impossible, even for BJP in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, they cannot make the government on their own. They have to get into an alliance. So will BJP get into an alliance with the PDP? You ask them, they have their hands up and they say no. But you can't make a government until unless you get into an alliance. So these smaller parties, whose leaders we are showing you today on our screens, come into play. At this point of time, these are BJP leaders. But right prior to Kavindra Gupta, Ravindra Raina and Nirmal Singh, out of which two are the former two deputy chief ministers, there were other leaders of the state with whom BJP has been in touch with. But will that be enough? That's the big question. Or will BJP say, for the larger good, for the larger good of the state of Jammu and Kashmir and the country, we are getting into an alliance with X or Y. And I am not, viewers, removing Omar Abdullah or Farooq Abdullah out of the equation. They've been in the government with the NDA. Farooq Abdullah was a minister in Vajpayee ji's government. So they are very close when it comes to Omar, beg your pardon. So the fact remains, viewers, that Jammu and Kashmir is going to be very, very interesting. And similarly, it's going to be Haryana. But if I go on and giving you the details of Haryana, it's going to be 5 more minutes. The fact is, the former chief minister is a central minister in the Modi cabinet, is very, very close and trusted of the prime minister himself. But what has he done in Haryana for the last 10 years? BJP insiders say it's not much. It's because of him we are in trouble. The prime minister or the top leadership of the BJP feels it's only because of his non-controversial behavior. It's only because of him being non-corrupt. And that's the biggest USP, unique selling point of any former or present Haryana chief minister, that Manohar Lal Khattar is going to be an ace for them. So let's see. And amid this, I'm getting in this debate also tonight, while I go into my panel. Can I have my full panel on air? That is it time for one nation, one poll also. Ajay Alok is there of the BJP, Karan Verma is there, Sushil Pandit is joining in, Ratnakar Tripathi, and senior journalist Satish K. Singh and Priyanka Bharti of the RJD will just join in the next few minutes. I'm asking tonight, Satish K. Singh, I begin with you. Jammu and Kashmir, Jharkhand, Haryana, Maharashtra, Delhi, for the next 6 months, countries packed with elections. Jammu Kashmir, undoubtedly very, very important one. But I am reminded what the Prime Minister said on 15th of August. It's time for one nation, one poll. Satish K. Singh, beginning with you, sir, and then going to the political parties. Satish K. Singh.
You see, I am also in favor of one nation, one election, provided the milieu, the environment, and the approach to consensus approach to the politics also, policy making, consultation, and bonding between the opposition and the government, if it is there. You see, it saves a lot of cost. But you know what? I mean, even when this is a lot of divide, lot of fissures, a lot of this and that here and there, then I personally, right now I feel that unless we reach somewhat of maturity and we are all of the one view that yes, it costs a lot. There is a lot of moral code of conduct, etc., and all. So it it hampers the governance. That part is right. But in countries such as so huge as ours, you see, till the time some bit of consultation and that consensus is achieved, then what's the harm in having elections after election? After all, we are democracy, and your channel is called Republic.
That we are Republic. Ajay Alok. Jammu Kashmir is one of the most important elections. A very, very high octane one. Congress has already announced that they are aligning with the National Conference. Can I have Sushil Pandit also on it? Thank you very much. Ajay Alok, but you are expected to contest around 43 seats. Congress is getting into a 40-50 alliance with the National Conference. Congress will get 50, National Conference will get 40. They are happy, they are okay. You are contesting 43. Even if in a hypothetical situation, 100% strike rate, you still can't form a government on your own. So are you saying that you are still open for an alliance either with an NC or a PDP post-poll? Ajay Alok?
I don't know, Aishwarya, from where you get this idea that we are going to contest only 43. You are giving me a news.
Am I?
I'm in the party, I'm the spokesperson, but I don't get this news that we are going to contest only 43.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see how much we contest. Let me see how much we contest. As far as forming the government goes, well, let me assure you, for the last 5 years post-abrogation of 370, whatever tectonic shift the valley has seen and the Jammu region has seen and the Ladakh region has seen, is going to reflect in the polls. We have seen the democratic participation has increased in the Lok Sabha polls, also in the local bodies, panchayat elections. Those oppressed people who have never been given a chance, they have come up. All these Pahadis, Bakarwal, Gujars, they have got reservations, they have come up and they are now representatives. I know this hurts to some people. It hurts. Why these downtrodden, vanchit, shoshin, गरीब, ये जो भेजे गए थे जम्मू कश्मीर इनके जूते साफ करने के लिए, जूते बनाने के लिए, क्यों आके हमारा हक खा रहे हैं? So let us see what is the outcome of the election. We are going full heart, and will contest, and we are sure that we'll get the majority mark. Now, as far as NC and Congress, see, NC and PDP, I take them to be a very small regional party limited to the valley, which is deeply involved in communal politics, in Islamic politics, and in hatred politics. And they are the one who are the open perpetrators of separatism. Actually, if you see their manifesto, they want to have another flag, they want to have the autonomous of Jammu Kashmir, now they want to have LOC dialogues with Pakistan, trading with Pakistan, and knowing all these things is there in the manifesto, the Congress party deliberately joined hand with them. That means Congress also wants 2 flags, 2 symbols, abrogation of 370 should be revoked, 370 should again be imposed in the valley, 35A should again be imposed in the valley, and that's why no Congress person is answering. When we ask questions, they very conveniently say that, yes, you also made government with PDP, which you used to say. I say, yes, we made government with PDP. That was the political point of that point of time. But the moment we realized that PDP is not going according to the wishes of nation, we just broke the alliance, we broke the coalition. We rather decided to be in the opposition or let there be a president rule in the state if there is no political maturity.
Okay.
Right now, Satish Singh was saying that there has to be some kind of a political maturity. Where will you get this political maturity? To whom is asking a political maturity? When Prime Minister says one nation, one election, this sounds politically mature to him. But when the opposition does not agree, opposition says, no, in democracy we cannot have one nation, one election. When Rahul Gandhi says this, to whom you are asking this question? We should have some maturity and consensus. The point is, the only maturity and the only consensus among our opposition right now is power. How to get power at any cost.
No, that is exactly what they say for you. Can I have Sushil Pandit also? PDP's manifesto is out there. They want 370 back. They want to talk to Pakistan. And those are the exact questions, Ajay Alok, which the Home Minister asked the Congress party yesterday. But you were in alliance with the PDP at one point of time. You have regretted openly. Your leadership has. You've said that that was the need of the hour. At that point of time, it will not be repeated. Let's see. But what do you stand for? What's your stand on Kashmiri Pandits? Have the Kashmiri Pandits gone back? No, they have not gone back. What is the situation in Jammu and Kashmir? Are there no terrorist attacks? Post 370 there are. And after Narendra Modi becoming the Prime Minister for the third time, there is a deliberate attempt from across the border. We are aware. There are intel about it. The MHA, as a reporter, I have spoken to officers. They have this. No, I am telling you this. There is specific intel. What the opposition is saying, that what has changed post 370 and 35A abrogation. Brief counter and then I'm going to Mr. Sushil Pandit.
The 70 years, yes, the 70 years of dirt which has been there in the Jammu Kashmir, especially in the valley, and you expect it to get cleaned in 5 years, it's not possible. Let me say it very humbly and very clearly, it's going to take time. Now, what in the terrorism front, look at the attacks in the valley, they have gone minimum to bare minimum. But now the strategy is changed. They are targeting Jammu because of the communal sensitiveness and because of the dense geographical advantageous location to them. But yes, the central forces and the central government and the LG and the local Jammu Kashmir administration is addressing the problem, and very soon we will be able to grip them. As far as Kashmiri Pandit going back to the valley, you have to have a perception among the people that yes, you are safe. No one can target you. And for that, the perception among the within the valley has to change, that we have to learn to live. Gone are the days of Ralib, Chalib and Galib. It cannot be tolerated anymore. So let there be an elected government, and let there be a stern statement somewhere living in the valley that yes, Kashmir Pandits are going to come back.
Sushil Pandit, let's get a hands-on answer on this.
Yes, Aishwarya.
Sir, your point of view.
Yes. Thank you, Aishwarya, for having me on your show, and good evening to all the fellow panelists and your guests. I'm reminded of the famous quote from Aristotle that pursuit of happiness is at the core of all human endeavors. With due apologies to him, let me amend it a little for the context here. Pursuit of power is at the core of all political endeavors by the parties contesting elections. So pursuit of power is something that I can't grudge, whether it is BJP, whether it is India Alliance, PDP or NC, they're all entitled to pursue power. But it comes with a caveat. It comes with a commonsensical caveat. And that caveat is, if the pursuit of power is at the expense of the core voters who support you,
that's the problem.
Pursuit of power is after compromising your ideological foundations. Pursuit of power is at the expense of the very reasons you exist. Then your pursuit of power is in jeopardy. And if you keep repeating those blunders, pursuit of power is forever a pipe dream. In Jammu and Kashmir, we have seen time and again such compromises happening. I haven't seen the Prime Minister or the Home Minister utter the phrase Kashmiri Hindus or Kashmiri Pandits even once in the last 4 years. None of the public speeches they have delivered in Kashmir have even mentioned Kashmiri Hindus. We do not matter. We are not in any equation. There is no policy paper till date presented in the last 10 years. There is not even an inquiry held as to what happened to us. We are still called migrants. But leave that as it may. The point is, when the elections come, Pakistan, terrorism, compromise with national interests, all kinds of these issues are brought out of the woodwork, dusted, polished, and presented again as the key election issues. Civilizational issues, cultural issues, Hindu existential issues, all these issues come out blazing. Now, point is, when the elections are over, either there is, in the name of democratic compulsions, compulsions of a mandate, compulsions of pragmatism, compulsions of serving the people who have given a mixed mandate. You know, these are time-worn cliches which are used again to strike those compromises. And you see time and again, the core voter left cheated.
Okay.
Your constituency left high and dry.
Sir.
This is the problem in Jammu and Kashmir.
This is the problem in Jammu.
Kashmir has seen a great change in the last 5 years.
Sir.
Just a moment.
Please,
if Kashmir has seen a great change in the last 5 years, why were the 3 seats of the valley left uncontested? If you have a huge, if
a big question to you, Ajay,
it's a huge change. What options did you offer a patriotic Kashmiri in the Lok Sabha elections? Your own cadre, your own voter, who wanted to reward you for great successes you have, so-called successes you have met in Kashmir. What options did you offer your cadre and your voter?
Answer, Ajay Alok.
It is very
So let's
rich.
take that answer directly from the
Now
BJP.
Coming at the head of an assembly election.
Point taken. Ajay Alok. Ajay Alok. Ajay Alok.
First of all, if we didn't contest in the valley those 3 seats, that doesn't mean that we have left our voters and we have left our sympathizers and we have left our
But it
supporters.
does mean that
And
you
we
were
have not
scared of
given them an
something, is
option.
it?
Now, if you see the local... No, we were not scared of something. There's something called political strategy, which every political party has a right to do so. And that's what the strategy
Last
is all
time
about.
I checked, Rajay ji,
Today, when we talk
after
of
2014,
alliances, it's not with
BJP
PDP or
leadership
NCP.
has always said
It's
just
not
one
with
thing.
PDP and NCP.
Whether you
Let me
win or you
complete.
lose, you contest. That has been the BJP's policy ever since 2014, after Modi and Shah taking over the BJP. Even seats which you were very, very aware in Karnataka you were going to lose, you contested. In seats you were okay, you were Bihar, BJP was aware that this is something which we are not very comfortable with. You contested because that is the BJP post 2014. But that is not the strategy which you are referring to. So that may be a strategy which we are not aware of. Sir.
Well, there was a strategy in the valley which was followed, and we did contest 3 seats. That doesn't mean we have left our supporters. What I'm talking here about that the shifts and the changes that I'm boasting, what he says that I'm boasting, we have left Kashmiri Hindus, and Prime Minister or Home Minister hasn't spoken about Kashmiri Hindu or Kashmiri Pandit. We never speak about Kashmiri Hindus. Whenever the about Kashmiri goes, it was always about Kashmiri Pandits. And yes, we are bothered about them, we care for them. And how to resettle them, it's in our prime priorities, nothing to beat it. And various works have been undertaken and it will reflect. Now, as far as the thing goes, that what we have done for our supporters, now look at the local bodies election, look at the panchayat elections, everywhere the representation is coming up. Now, you have to create a perception among people that yes, Kashmiri Hindus or Kashmiri Pandits are safe when they go back. Even today, when we see the target killings of all those workers who have come from UP or Bihar, somebody comes and does a spray firing. Of course, he's caught or he's killed later by the security forces. But this thing continues to do. Let's not run away from the fact that yes, law and order situation is under control, but still there are elements who always try to create this rift, and this is what is causing the problem. And you have to change if you have to change the perception, it takes time. Right. It's not only us, it's of any government. The miscreation done by the last 60 years, it's for everyone there to see.
Okay. Can I have Mr. Ratnakar Tripathi? Sushil Pandit wants to make a very, very brief point, and then I'm coming to the others as well. Karan Verma coming to you in exactly 30 seconds. Yeah. Sushil ji.
Thank you, Aishwarya.
You have Sushil Pandit twice in the
Thank you, Aishwarya. Kashmir is not facing a law and order problem. Kashmir is facing a jihad, and that is the primary primary blunder that you commit if you approach Kashmir with a law and order rose-tinted glasses. It is not law and order problem, it's a jihad. It's a jihad-inspired insurgency that has committed a Hindu genocide in the valley. It's not law and order problem. Please get that straight. Nowhere in the country, 500,000 people have been pushed out of their homes, their lands, not to return for the last 35 years, and not one victim, not one survivor given any justice or any compensation. This is not law and order problem, sir. This is jihad in its most naked and ruthless form, admitted today.
Priyanka Bharti, coming to you, but I'm going to Karan Verma. Karan Verma, your viewpoint, sir. Karan Verma. Vivek Salis, I'm coming to you as well, yeah. Karan Verma.
No, Aishwarya, I agree with Sushil Pandit ji. I have the highest regard for him and he's absolutely bang on. But I would very humbly say, let's not miss the forest for the trees. The fact is, on August 5th, 2019, the Prime Minister took a move that changed the landscape of Kashmir. Article 370 removed, and for the first time we had a complete integration in the sense, and thousands of Dalits, Gorkhas, homosexuals, their rights which were brutally trampled upon by the state have been restored. Today is a very important question for the NC and the Congress. NC has said in its manifesto that they are all for the restoration of Article 370.
Yes, they are.
Digvijay Singh on 12th June 2021 said
Mr.
that we will bring
also.
back Article 370. Are they standing for the reservation of Dalits or not? Or this is their Dalit Virodhi mentality? The Congress, which claims to be the messiah of social justice, today shows its true color when it says we will bring back Article 370. The fact is, Aishwarya, 2 crore tourists last year in Kashmir, 1.1 crore tourists this year.
No one is saying, Karan, that things are not changing for good. But are they changing at the pace as it was promised by Ajay Alok's party? As it was promised by the BJP?
Absolutely.
Because if you heard Sushil ji, his expectation, it's not that he's saying that nothing has been done. The only thing he's saying that what was expected has not happened at the pace at which it was expected. You understand that there is a difference. The promises were made initially as if suddenly things are going to change, and it's not that.
I agree.
That the government tried to put in.
I agree with Sushil Pandit ji, but all I'm saying is that let's not pick someone who is radically opposite to any sort of progress that has been made. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying let's not miss the forest for the trees.
Priyanka Bharti of the RJD wants to comment. Priyanka wants to make a brief point, and then I'm going to Ratnakar Tripathi. Yeah, Ratnakar ji, you are with the national conference now, right? Yeah. Priyanka.
Okay. Ashwani ji, the moment the debate started, you emphasized something called one nation, one election. But this emphasis on this fictional idea of oneness needs to be addressed when concerns of more necessary oneness is required. For example, oneness of income, oneness of healthcare, oneness of education system, oneness against hatred, and oneness, and the last one, oneness, one nation, one caste. Will everyone agree? Right now, Ajay Alok was saying we are very hurt that the rights of the downtrodden people will be snatched away. But you are not hurt when caste census is not done in the country. When people and parties from social justice, they are constantly, incessantly raising the voices for one. They are raising their voices so that caste survey is done. But you all are against it. How can you explain that? Explain it to me. When you talk about downtrodden society from Kashmir, but आपको जातिगत जनगणना से दिक्कत होती है, then I think there is some shrewdness lying behind. Please explain that.
Ajay Alok.
Going to review the reservation. That's what they have said in Kashmir. Please ask her, Aishwarya, that Congress and NC have
please direct communication. I believe in direct communication.
And cut it down for Dalits and Valmiki. No, she should reflect on that. Is she favor of reservation for Valmiki?
Why are you reflecting on Jatigat Janganna?
Barkhadanis and all, Gurkhas and all?
The whole nation.
Or she wants to remove the reservation.
Talk about the whole
Is she in favor of reimposition of 370 and 35A?
Please tell me.
Few minutes back, Satish Kesing talked of political maturity. Now see the political maturity. This is the political maturity about one nation, one election.
Why do you oppose caste census? Because you want to keep
this is the political maturity about one nation, one election. When you talk to them on reservation, they'll show Samvidhan. और सब
you
दलितों
won't
की
have the
रक्षा.
answer. You
But
won't
for them, Dalit do
answer
not
this.
exist in Jammu and Kashmir. This
You
is the
won't
problem.
answer this.
Okay. Ratnakar Tripathi of the Congress Party. Okay, Priyanka ji, I got your point. Priyanka Bharti, I got your point. But I am saying Ratnakar Tripathi. Ratnakar Tripathi, the National Conference. Yesterday, Amit Shah asked certain very specific and sparing questions to Rahul Gandhi. There is no answer. Will you take out time and answer at least 3 of those? Do you want 370 and 35A back? Do you want a separate flag? And do you want the anonymity, do you want a separate statehood for Kashmir? Because that is what the National Conference is asking for. Are you also asking for that? Is the Congress Party also asking for the same? Please clarify to the country.
Shall I speak now?
Please, Mr. Tripathi.
So I am talking to Mini Amit Shah. No, we are not liable to answer the bogus party persons, and we don't show political maturity with bogus people and bogus parties and their bogus claims. I have all the respect for Sushil Pandit ji, even if he says whatever he wants about Congress and alliance. But he is showing the mirror to those who claim they have changed the world in Kashmir. Consecutively, second day he has shown them. And Dr. Pandit, I am with you. I can even leave the party if you call me.
Sushil ji,
I have been taught by the Kashmiri Pandits, Professor S.K. Kag, Professor P.K. Tikku, Professor Ashok Kaul, Professor Kuchru, Professor Manchu. I am from BHU. I know what the pain is. My Professor Kag broke in tears when I was moving from Karnataka. He just said, Ratnakar, can you locate my house and tell me what is there? I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain. I am just saying. Just let me first make 2 comments. Ajay Alok just negated 5 years. He said, we have only 5 years. You are in the seat since more than 10 years. And you are saying only 5 years. And what has changed? You haven't changed the life. The thing is that you don't dare to contest there. You know what has happened. Just now you claimed that the Ghati is just in peace. But Jammu is not in peace. That means you can protect the Ghati person but not the Jammu persons. So you are saying that. And Mr. Ajay Alok, I would just advise you one thing. Don't eat more than what you can chew. I am saying it on the TV. Write it down. You will make post-poll arrangement with any party who will support you to make the government if you get a number. You have done it with Ajit Pawar. Please, don't show finger. You have done it with everyone.
Coming, Ajay ji, give him 30 more seconds.
What you have, that's 10 seconds. And what we have recently done, we are not talking about PDP alliance. The 3 years political honeymoon.
Satish ji is laughing, smirking.
I'm talking about the TDP. In the whole nation, your leaders went and said, Congress Muslim Arakshan de rahi hai, and you have made the government with the support of TDP, who is going to give 4% to Muslims.
That's a fact. Well, that's a fact. Well, that's a fact. What he's saying is from Ashok Chavan to Ajit Pawar to Chandrababu Naidu. You have what he's trying to say. Basically, I'll just sum it up. And Satish K. Singh is smiling and smirking, and now with his hand on his face, he's very happy that someone else has asked his question. Ajay Alok, what he's trying to say is that from Ajit Pawar to Ashok Chavan to Chandrababu Naidu, you've gone with whomsoever helps you to form the government. So why not a PDP or a national conference again? You've been with both of them at one point of time. Ajay Alok.
Yeah, at one point of time, we have been with both of them, whether PDP or NCP. But don't forget, that was Vajpayee's time. This is Modi's time. The policy and the mindset is very clear. And by the way, Ratnakar ji, we don't chew more what we can't eat. We only chew that much that we can eat and digest. Please, I did disturb you in between. Second thing, you said bogus party and bogus person. Well, the biggest bogus party of this country is Congress party. This is the fact. The historical mistakes you have done for the last 75 years had led to what Kashmir is facing now. Isn't this the truth? You can feel the pain of Suresh Pandit. He was talking of Islamic Jihad, what is happening in Kashmir. Do you feel the pain of Islamic Jihad? You don't. You support Islamic Jihad. That is the truth. You support Islamic Jihad. And you have the audacity to say something about Islamic Jihad? No. Your vote bank will suffer. You were opposing Waqf Board of Bill and everything. Why?
No, let's just
there is scope of improvement in Waqf.
When you start
no,
talking
and by the way, Waqf was not applicable in Jammu Kashmir. That also
No, it
you did
doesn't.
it. That also
But
you
I have
did
an
it.
add-on
Today
question
with
for you,
the
Ajay
National
Alok.
Conference, you support that we'll get back 370 and 35A.
No, it just popped into my mind.
He didn't answer single of your question, and I'm answering his questions.
I hope so that the people are getting their
Single of
answers.
your question, and I'm
Sir,
answering
whether
his
you
questions.
answer or not,
So let
Ratnakar
me
Tripathi answer or not, Priyanka ji answers or not, I just hope
can I
that the
come in?
people are getting.
Ashwarya.
Yes, Karan, yes, you may.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Vivek Salis, I'm just coming to you. Kuch
know-
nahi
you
hua,
know,
Vivek ji.
so much for waxing
coming to you.
eloquent.
Hold on. But
Mr.
the only
Ratnakar
question I want to ask
Tripathi,
Ajay Alok,
Mr.
Karan, please give me 30 seconds. Hold on.
Second.
The only thing which has popped up is that given that you didn't contest the Lok Sabha polls in Kashmir Valley, will you contest the assembly polls in Kashmir apart from your traditional belt of Jammu? Are you going to contest the assembly election in Kashmir?
Of course.
Just asking.
Three letter answer. YES.
Okay, sticking to that. Karan Verma wanted to come in and then Vivek Salis, yeah. And by the way, people, let's not forget, Haryana is also going to polls, yeah.
You know, Aishwarya, I heard Mr. Ratnakar wax eloquent. I'm just going to ask him a straight question.
Can we have him
Does
back
he
on?
have the guts to admit and use the word genocide of
Ratnakar
Kashmiri
Tripathi.
Hindus that happened? And who did it? Does he have the guts to say it was done by Islamic jihadis? ये बोलने की हिम्मत है आपकी यहाँ पर? जरा बोल दीजिए यही, अगर हिम्मत है आपकी.
Let me tell you, the genocide was done in 1991 with the help and support of Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Yes.
The VP Singh government. The BJP was in the government. And
ये
they
देखिए.
withdrew support after
रालिब
25
गालिब सालेब अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने जब लगाए
You are
थे.
there. You are the culprit of
Absolutely
the
wrong.
genocide. You are
आपकी
the
हिम्मत है उनको
blatant
बोलने
lie
की.
speaking on television.
Not
देखिए
Congress.
ये है इनका माइंडसेट ऐश्वर्या.
I can see the people of this country the people of this country are hearing
You
it.
are supporting the
He
government.
cannot even name Islamic jihadis. ये है
Sushil ji
इनकी
coming to
वोट
you.
बैंक की राजनीति.
Sushil ji wants to come in.
1987, Rajiv Gandhi rigged the elections, and he's going to wax eloquent about Congress's role. Congress
Okay,
doesn't
point
have the
it.
guts to say that Islamic jihadis.
Satish Singh coming back to you. But Vivek Salis of the Samajwadi Party has not even uttered a word. Just let me go to him. Congress has openly come in support. Congress has come in support of the National Conference. They are getting into an alliance. What's the India alliance stand on this, Vivek Salis? What's your stand?
It is India alliance, actually.
No. India, very good.
Yeah.
What is the opposition alliance stand on this, Vivek Salis? What do you feel?
I think most of the things have been discussed in your show prior to my making my
No, but
statement.
please tell me, do you stand for a separate flag for Jammu and Kashmir?
No, not at all for that.
I hope you tell that to Rahul Gandhi or your leader,
Okay.
Akhilesh Yadav. I hope so he does. Because he didn't say
I hope you
anything to
don't-
Mamata Banerjee for the Bengal. Yeah.
I hope you don't. I won't,
sir.
interrupt me.
Please carry on.
Yes, what Mr. Ajay Alok just said, that what happened in Jammu or what happened in Kashmir or what has happened in Ladakh is going to reflect in the elections. Is absolutely right, true. It has already reflected in the Lok Sabha election where the Bharatiya Janata Party didn't even have the guts to fight the election. And what Sushil Pandit ji said, I adore it, and it's absolutely fine and perfect what he said. It was in 2014 when, if you read the manifesto of the Bharatiya Janata Party in 2014, what the Bharatiya Janata Party said in 2014 is that we are going to retrain 6,000 Kashmiri Pandits family every year in Jammu and Kashmir. And that was the biggest lie that the Bharatiya Janata Party has spoken to the Kashmiri Pandits. Ever since then, till date, what Mr. Sushil Pandit has said, they have not even uttered a word. And what you see, what is happening in the valley, you see what is happening in Jammu, you see what terrorist activities have been increasing day by day. We are losing our jawans and the captains, the majors, and other important people who hold the post. And what the Bharatiya Janata Party said, that Mr. Amit Shah said that the unholy alliance of National Conference and Congress
is doing a press conference on exactly this. Sushil Pandit, I am coming to you, but I need to cut this for a minute because Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Assam Chief Minister, is doing a press conference on the Congress and the National Conference alliance in Jammu and Kashmir. Are we getting the feed right now, Director? Are we getting the feed? Can we cut to it? Because Ajay Alok, what I am being told, that Himanta Biswa Sarma is doing a press conference is this and is exposing what Congress and the National Conference Alliance stands for. On air now, cut to it. Himanta Biswa Sarma, press conference.
It is a pro-Pakistani document. It is a document of few fundamentalists.
First on that.
Now, whether Congress or Rahul Gandhi endorse it, Now Rahul Gandhi went to Farooq Abdullah's house and basically endorsed the manifesto of the National Conference. Congress party has gone too low and they are compromising with the integrity and unity of this nation. They are compromising with the sacrifice of our martyrs. They are undermining the heroic sacrifice of our armed forces. So we would like to challenge Congress party that whether you are doing this just to gain some kind of share of power, or you are doing it to demoralize our armed forces. Whether you endorse the divisive agenda of National Conference. I think Congress stand exposed today. Congress was against the interest
exposing
of
the
India.
Congress party.
They are
literally
against
exposing the
interest
Congress
of
party,
India,
Ratnakar Tripathi,
they
and you need to
will
answer these
continue to
questions.
be
No, you
against
may
the
speak.
interest of this great nation.
I'm coming out of this press conference now and going back to the debate. You can give the visuals of the press conference if you want, Director. Satish K. Singh, you cannot. Ratnakar Tripathi, I'll come to you, but Satish K. Singh, you cannot deny the fact that what National Conference or PDP want is a dialogue with Pakistan on which Amit Shah has asked Priyanka, Amit Shah has asked Rahul Gandhi to answer on the double flag. He has specifically asked, and Congress is quiet because they just want an alliance, Satish K. Singh. What Himanta is doing is Himanta is just exposing the Congress and the National Conference alliance. And you cannot deny that. Like
Aishwarya, I'm very sorry, I don't take Himanta very seriously.
Oh, you don't?
Just take him back to the just before the election, assembly election, and the same press conference you can do with vis-a-vis PDP. These are the questions. Same. It applies to BJP when it allied with PDP. That's not the question. See, I look at the Jammu Kashmir election as a national election. It's a national prestige involved, and that way the restoration of normalcy, restoration of election is the biggest thing which we have to showcase it to the world. So I don't see election per se, the pursuit of power per se in Jammu Kashmir. Yes, there are questions, and I do appreciate and I do recognize that there has been a contradiction in Congress's stand on Article 370 and 35A. There has been a problem. Yes, it is still continuing. But as far as their stand with National Conference or with PDP, similarly, this is similar for the dilemma, the contradiction, both for Congress and the BJP. Let me add one more thing.
Okay, please.
Right now, Ajay Alok was referring to, he was differentiating between Vajpayee and Modi. I think he was not doing the right thing. But Modi is doing the right thing. He's being accused of a lot of U-turns, etc. and etc. I'm liking this government, let me tell you very honestly. But I think Modi is taking a leaf out of Vajpayee after a bit, and that's good for the nation. So I think it's a national challenge to have a peaceful election in Jamhuriyat Ka Jang, that is Jammu Kashmir. That's my point.
No, I absolutely understand, but okay. Ajay Alok's counter, and then I'll make my point. Okay. Ajay Alok.
First of all, Satish ji, we have already demonstrated in front of the world. That the restoration of peace and restoration of election is already there in Jammu Kashmir by conducting not only the Lok Sabha polls but also by conducting panchayat polls, local body elections, everything, where participation was more than 60%. Rajouri Lok Sabha 59% participation, that itself is a suitable demonstration that what kind of faith we have restored. Now in the coming state election also, only in 3 faiths. For the first time in last 30 years, only in 3 faith elections are going to take place. Otherwise, if you remember, Jammu Kashmir used to be 7 phase or 8 phase elections. Number 2. Number 3, as far as you drawing our parallels with the PDP is absolutely different thing. You can walk on a leg which has wound in it, what we did. But when you realize that the wound is going to turn into a gangrene, you have to amputate your leg. We amputated the government when we were with PDP because we were convinced
my point
that PDP is not going to improve. So based on that and what today NC is doing with Congress, that means you are intentionally eating the poison because you know the poison is not going to affect you. सांप को सांप के काटे का असर नहीं होता है.
सांप को सांप के काटे का असर नहीं होता है. Ajay Alok, but I have an in-principle question tonight.
You said that you are
No, that's okay, Satish Kesing. I have point taken. But what I am saying is that the questions which were asked, Satish Kesing, Satish, I have understood. Satish, you have understood.
Ruling out any alliance post-election with either NC
yes,
or PDP.
And that is what I am saying. But please listen to this, Ratnakar Tripathi, what Amit Shah said.
We are not.
Ajay Alok, you cannot promise that. You know that. You cannot promise that. When you can have Ajit Pawar in your party in Maharashtra, then you cannot deny anything to anyone. Please, let's just calm down on that point. Sir. Let's just calm down on that point. Please.
Let the people decide about the mandate.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. Let the people of Jammu Kashmir decide.
And so-called,
and that is why I'm saying let the people of Haryana also decide whether Khattar was good or bad for them. That is not the point. But please relax. What I am asking Ratnakar Tripathi and Sushil Pandit, both of them, relax. Please.
Let people decide the mandate.
So the people will only decide, and the people have always decided. So let's relax on that point. What I am saying is Ratnakar Tripathi, Amit Shah.
What have you decided, and what is you going to decide?
Satish ji, you have to understand you are on the other side of the camera now.
You
are my political analyst. You are in that nag that you will not let me speak. Please relax, sir. It's a Saturday evening. Let's relax a bit. And what I am saying is this, Ratnakar Tripathi.
No, sir. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But what I am saying is,
people will.
Ratnakar Tripathi, you please need to tell me this. Does the Congress support the National Conference promise on a separate flag for Jammu and Kashmir? Do Rahul Gandhi and Congress party support Jammu and Kashmir National Conference decision to restore Article 370 and 350 and 35A? Congress support promoting separatism by engaging in dialogue with Pakistan? Do you want that? Do you want LOC trade with Pakistan again? Do you want support for terrorism and stone pelting? What is that you want? Do you want JKNC's divisive politics of granting autonomy to Kashmir? What is that Congress stands for, that National Conference is standing for? Tell me this, what is an alliance? Alliance is when you come together. This is exactly like Arvind Kejriwal and Rahul Gandhi coming together. You and Umar Abdullah coming together in Jammu and Kashmir is like you and Arvind Kejriwal coming together in Delhi. Is that wrong? Ratnakar Tripathi, please explain.
I really believe, you will not Ashwin Kapoor, that you had hoodwinks on your eyes. You just showed us the Himanta Biswa Sarma's press conference, another bogus person. Just before 2015, when Himanta Biswa Sarma joined BJP, Amit Shah had a great press conference, fully packed, and said he is the key accused of water supply scam, and we will prosecute Himanta Biswa Sarma. Why do you want to talk me about the turncoats? Talk about the settlements of Pandits. What he is claiming, Ajay Alok, we held good elections, the participation was, I was always saying, I said
Ashwarya,
that.
you will not have your answer, that's for sure.
Ajay Alok, I am not liable to answer, please. I didn't disturb you. They are controlling the election commission.
Oh, you are only liable to give Gyan, not answer the question, the pertinent question. That's what Congress is meant for. Doing bogus things, saying bogus things.
Please, Ajay Alok, I know how witty you are, please. And now let me tell you one thing more. The claim was that we will settle the Pandits here and they will participate in the elections. The elections are being participated by those people whom Pandits claim that they have thrown them out of their birthplace. The Pandits need their birthright. Don't relocate them.
But you didn't get that when you were in power. But you also didn't do. Congress also did not do that when you were in power. Did you? Today you, Vivek Silas, everyone, Hindi mein kehte hai kandhe pe banduk chalana. That is exactly what you are using Sushil Pandit for today. But Sushil Pandit, please, Sushil Pandit is smart enough to understand कि कब उनका कंधा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. So relax on that. You did not answer one. You did not answer one of the point, Ratnakar Tripathi, which I asked you. You did not even answer one. I asked you, do you stand for a double flag? Do you stand for a separate autonomy? Do you stand for getting back 370 and 35A? You said, no, I will answer on that. You did not answer one. No, you did not even answer on one point. You did not even answer back on one. You did not even answer back on one. So thank you very much. I'm going to Sushil Pandit. I'll come back to you when you are ready to answer. Karan Verma, I'm coming back to you. I know I am Aishwarya Kapoor. You don't need to remind me. I'm not Aishwarya Rai. Relax. I know I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. So calm down. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit. Relax, Tripathi ji. Relax. Relax. No, you're not. Have a half a glass of water. Have a half a glass of water. Now relax. Now. Sushil ji. Sushil ji wants to make a point. Sushil ji, today you are the best friend, the BFF of the BJP. You are the BFF of the Congress. Even the Samajwadi Party is calling you their BFF. I don't know what else. Sushil ji. You are?
Aishwarya ji, Ratnakar Tripathi ji shed copious tears on my plight. Thank you, but no thank you. In 1991, there was no VP Singh government. VP Singh government perished in 1990 November. In 1991, there was Chandrasekhar followed by PV Narasimha Rao.
Ratnakar Tripathi, news
Our
for you.
exodus started in 1989. In 1989, there was a coalition government in Kashmir of National Conference and Congress.
Now listen, Mr. Tripathi.
The same coalition which is
be quiet and listen.
Elections today.
I'm asking you, when did you leave the valley?
The same coalition which is contesting the elections today.
When did you leave the valley,
National
sir?
Conference and Congress coalition government was in 1989. Even in 1990 till 18th January, when Farooq Abdullah abandoned us and fled to London, it was National Conference and Congress government in Kashmir.
You tell me, when did you leave the valley?
The VP Singh government came on 4th of December 1989, barely a month ago. Do you think the entire trouble happened in just 1 month? VP Singh took oath in December 89. We fled Kashmir before that.
Don't downplay.
Our exodus started. The foremost leader of Kashmiris was killed. Tikalal Taplu was killed on 13th of September 1989.
You are downplaying, sir.
Neelkanth Ganju was killed on 2nd of December 1989.
You tell me the date.
It was Farooq Abdullah government supported by Congress in Kashmir when our exodus started.
No. Who was in the
Please
center?
bear that in mind.
Who was in the center
when our exodus started? It was the same coalition, Congress and National Conference, ruling Kashmir under Farooq Abdullah.
No, you are misguiding.
That.
No, you are misguiding, sir. The January exodus.
This is on record. This is on record. This is on record.
I have seen the record. The day
we observe.
You are trying to teach the person who was forced to leave his home, Ratnakar Tripathi, you are trying to remind him of his day. Sushil ji, just give me 30 seconds. You are trying to remind Sushil Pandit about the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. Are you trying to tell him? Please, on national television, at least have some, what do I say, some common sense, Ratnakar Tripathi, let's calm down. Karan Verma, no, relax, Ratnakar Tripathi. To prove your point, you are trying to remind Sushil Pandit of the day and the date and the month and when did you leave Valley. He knows better than any one of us on this panel. And let's agree on that. So calm down. Karan Verma, calm down. Karan Verma, Ratnakar ji, please, there is a time when you have to be quiet. Karan Verma.
Aishwarya,
shameless Congress.
To jog Mr. Ratnakar's memory a little more, Yasin Malik, the man who owned that he shot 4 Indian Air Force personnel, he was welcomed by Manmohan Singh. Aishwarya, do you remember that?
Yes, we all do.
He was welcomed by Manmohan Singh. Ye hai sincerity. Congress party. This is their sincerity. Towards separatists, towards killers, and then they preach, कि अरे हम कश्मीरियत और इंसानियत की बात करेंगे. आप टेररिस्ट के साथ खड़े रहे. It was
मत कीजिए ना, be quiet for a while.
And Farooq Abdullah, their जुगलबंदी. Before that, Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah, इनकी जुगलबंदी में वहाँ पे खून की नदियाँ बहाई. Rahul Gandhi is right.
Ratnakar ji, please relax. One by one. Ratnakar ji, one by one.
You are the reason why blood flowed in Kashmir. So don't take a moral ground now. You stood with people like Yasin Malik. आपको तो पश्चाताप करना चाहिए. आपके पापों का घड़ा बहुत बड़ा हुआ है. रत्नाकर जी, यहाँ पर ज्ञान मत दीजिए आप. I am so glad Sushil Pandit ji took him to the cleaners right now. At least gave him some reality checks.
Okay. Can I have my complete panel on here? I'm coming for ending comments briefly to everyone. Vivek Silas, government is in full-blown mode for elections. UPS aa gaya hai. Now there is no OPS. Now there is no new pension scheme. There is unified pension scheme. Haryana is going to polls with Jammu and Kashmir. Then it's Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Then it's New Delhi. Government is ready. Are you? Is the opposition ready? Vivek Silas. Ending comments, sir.
Of course we are ready, and we know that we are going to win.
How? By eating Bazwan? How are you ready?
No, not at all. If you see what happened in Maharashtra, the Bharatiya Janata Party could get only 9 Lok Sabha seats. You see what happened in Haryana, they got 5, and the Congress got 5. What is happening in Jammu Kashmir, we can see it right now. When it was the time to form the government by the Bharatiya Janata Party and PDP, they said 14,000 stone pelters are innocent, and they took their cases back. What Karan Verma has to say about that? They had called the ISC to investigate the Pathankot, incident, the terrorist incident.
Yeah.
Pakistan ISI was called by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Amit Shah said in Calcutta that we hope that the ISI will do a good job and a fair job. That is the real face of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Aishwarya, which is very, very ugly.
Okay, point taken. Satish K. Singh, ending comments, sir. Karan, I'll come to everyone. Yeah. Satish K. Singh. Please tell me the exact time left here. Satish K. Singh.
Yeah, no, if it is about Kashmir, then I would say again I'll repeat the fact that the very election itself a moment of pride for all of us, following to the Lok Sabha elections, and hope it goes well. I am not interested in who is aligning with whom. These are all farce things. It's a restoration of normalcy.
Restoration of normalcy. That's the point. Ajay Alok, ending comments coming from you, sir.
And that's it.
Thank you, sir. Ajay Alok.
With all due respect, I would just like to assure everyone that the government will leave no stone unturned in making this election a super success story, and people will have the faith in Indian democracy and an Indian system and Indian parliamentary system. And those who want that Kashmir should go back in the old age, that's not going to happen. Reform, perform, this is the word for Kashmir, and we are going to stick with it.
Sushil Pandit, I have to give you last 30 seconds, sir. Are you convinced by either Ajay Alok or the opposition? Sushil Pandit.
I wish I could share everyone's enthusiasm. My heart is in my mouth when I say this election is going to throw up people who we will regret to have in the assembly, like we have an MP from Baramulla in the parliament who's serving time in the jail.
Yes, we do.
We are inviting a catastrophe on ourselves by not first restoring Kashmir to an election-worthy state. Kashmir is not ready for elections yet.
Okay.
A lot needs to be done before elections have called.
That
is Supreme Court's folly, and it is our misfortune that we are being pushed into an election in Kashmir right now.
Point taken, sir. So that's the point of view of Sushil Pandit. You've heard the BJP, you've heard everything. I'll only say this: Jammu and Kashmir has not had a democratically elected state government for the last 5 years. As Satish K. Singh said, it's a moment of pride. But let's see what we all have to wait and watch for. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much. That's the time we have on Burning Question tonight. Thank you.
message we are giving to the future generation. If such atrocities will be done on doctors, then no one will want to opt for this profession in future. So please come and support us and build a better, safe place for doctors to work.
What I find startling is the indie media. You see this greasy indie media, this sponsored indie media, this greased up indie media. They call themselves the conscience keepers for the Indie Alliance. You know the indie media, ladies and gentlemen. We know the indie media as well, and they know themselves. They know exactly what they have done and what they are doing. But it's about time someone says it and really exposes them properly, because I will tonight, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this underground network of the indie media, these backroom deal makers, this veiled coalition has to be called out. This Lutyens meet Soros media has done everything to pick up the Abhaya story after they had no choice but to stop ignoring it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Very good evening and thank you for tuning in. I'm Suesha Sant as we get you the latest as far as the investigation in the RG Kar case is concerned. Also, how the BJP is going all guns blazing, questioning the Congress of its alliance with the NC ahead of the polls in Jammu and Kashmir. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines we're tracking. In a big move by the Modi government, central government has announced unified pension scheme in place of old and new pension. Polygraph test of prime accused Sanjoy Roy to be done tomorrow. Meanwhile, CBI seizes his bike which was spotted at the crime spot. Trouble mounts for former RG Kar principal Dr. Sandeep Ghosh. CBI to now probe financial irregularities connected to him.
There is a single Hindu people, but we are arresting in last 1 month 35 Muslim influence. So always we blame Hindu. It is not the correct.
Big statement by Himanta Biswa Sarma. He says infiltration at Assam borders increased after unrest in Bangladesh. Fierce electoral fight breaks out after date of polls announced in Jammu and Kashmir. Congress NC join hands. BJP calls it an unholy alliance. Trouble mounts for actor Nagarjuna. Convention center owned by him in Madhapur razed by Hydra. And well, with the pressure that has been mounting as far as CBI's crackdown on the RG Kar rape and murder case is concerned, the hunt is on for the culprits. A polygraph test that will be conducted on arrested accused Sanjoy Roy tomorrow is the latest we've learned. Meanwhile, SIT constituted by the Mamata government to probe the RG Kar incident handed over documents to the CBI in connection with the probe into Ghosh's alleged corrupt dealings at RG Kar. Getting you all the details in this report.
We want justice! We want justice!
Moving through the gears in its probe into the RG Kar rape and murder, the CBI conducted a polygraph test on former principal Sandeep Ghosh. As chants for justice continued to ring out in the streets, the former RG Kar principal was put through the test. 4 junior doctors who were at RG-Kar on the night of the ghastly crime also underwent a polygraph test at the CBI's Kolkata office. Meanwhile, the SIT formed by the Mamata government to probe the horrific rape and murder case handed over some documents to the CBI in connection with its probe into Ghosh's alleged corrupt dealings at RG-Kar hospital. Earlier, the CBI got legal sanction to probe serious charges of financial impropriety against the former RG-Kar principal. It is alleged that Ghosh was the kingpin of a medical waste racket at RG-Kar and was also involved in the smuggling and sale of unclaimed bodies.
He is a criminal, he is not doctor. He is a criminal and he is running, right now, he used to run a mafia raj in RG-Kar Medical College and Hospital. He malpracticed by illegal trafficking of biomedical waste like used syringe, used needle, used rubber gloves, used saline bottle like this. As Sandeep Ghosh wants to be a more powerful and for the sake of money, he did a lot of irregularities including donating of dead bodies for workshop.
In a related development, a delegation of the protesting RG-Kar doctors met the CBI probe team, urging it to take the investigation to its logical end at the earliest and nail all the culprits.
कल हम लोगों का एक 5 आदमी का जो प्रतिनिधि हम लोग गए थे सीबीआई ऑफिस सीजीओ कॉम्प्लेक्स, वहाँ पे भी हम लोगों का कुछ मतलब सेटिस्फाइड आंसर नहीं मिला इस सीबीआई से। तो इसलिए गण कन्वेंशन इसलिए था, सब जो एक एक करके जो आंदोलन में हिस्सा हो रहा है उनसे भी थोड़ा बातचीत करना, उनका सजेशन लेना, किस तरीक़े से आंदोलन को, ये प्रोटेस्ट को आगे बढ़ाना है, किस तरीक़ा से ये जस्टिस को हासिल करना है।
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
Meanwhile, the RG-Kar horror continued to evoke outrage in the country and beyond, as protesters came out on the streets in London chanting justice for Abhaya. As the CBI goes one step closer to nailing the culprits behind the RG-Kar incident, the nation awaits the full might of justice on the perpetrators.
And while there is nationwide outrage over the brutal rape and murder of Abhaya, people are on the streets demanding justice for her. Amid all this, another case that has come to light from Assam, where a minor girl was allegedly gang raped by at least 3 men, and now the Assam government assuring people that the 2 who are on the run will be nabbed soon. Here's the report.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
The entire nation is on the streets to demand justice for Abhaya.
We want justice!
And amidst this, another horrific case has come to light from Assam. A 14-year-old girl was allegedly gang raped by 3 persons in the Nagaon district on Thursday. Yesterday, the prime accused Tafazul Islam was taken to the crime spot by the police, where he tried to flee by jumping into a pond. He was later pronounced dead.
That one of the prime accused in this incident, Tafazul Ali, was nabbed by the police last evening. However, when he was brought here for reconstruction of the crime scene, he managed to give a slip to the police and jumped into this specific pond, this particular pond, in order to escape the police. However, he got drowned and his body was recovered a short while back from this particular pond.
14-15 साल के लड़के ट्यूशन से आ रहे थे, वो वापस आ रहे थे, उसी टाइम में वो 3 दरिंदे थे वहाँ पे, वो लोग आके उसको उस जगह पे जाके रेप किया है। ये मतलब हम लोग को समाज के लिए बहुत दुखदायक घटना है।
The brutal incident took place when the girl was returning from a coaching class. She was found in a semi-conscious state near a pond with a bicycle beside her. 2 other suspects also remain absconding. Locals are staging protests. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has vowed strict punishment for the accused.
ढींग में घटना हुआ, मैं तुरंत डीजीपी को भेजा, 2 लोगों को 2-3 घंटा में ही अरेस्ट किया, मंत्री भी उधर चला गया और आगे का भी कठोर कार्रवाई होगा ही होगा। जब ऐसा घटना होता है सरकार को बहुत एग्रेसिव एक्शन लेना चाहिए। बंगाल में सरकार ने लिया नहीं, इसीलिए लोग नाराज हो गया।
हमारा गवर्नमेंट ने और हम लोग का मुख्यमंत्री ने जो ड्रास्टिक एक्शन इधर में लिया और 2 एक्यूज है, उन लोग को भी जल्दी से जल्दी उनको हम लोग निकालेगा। उनका ऊपर बहुत ज़बरदस्ती जो करना है हम लोग कर लेगा।
But how long will India's daughters continue to remain unsafe in their own country?
Moving on, after sealing an alliance for the upcoming Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections at a meeting between the Abdullahs and Congress heavyweights, Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge, the discord between the NC and the Congress over the allocation of seats that has now come out in the open. A National Conference leader who has threatened in the open, saying that the seat in Banihal will not be given to the Congress in any which way, and the rift that is out there where the BJP not just questioning the Congress over this alliance but also calling it an unholy alliance. Here are all the details.
The alliance between the National Conference and the Congress for the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly polls ran into tough waters after an NC leader openly threatened rebellion.
तंजीम की जिम्मेदारी मिली, जब इसको पीसीसी का चीफ बनाया गया तो इसने वहां भी लूट खसूट की और 2 साल के अंदर ही इसको निकाल बाहर कर दिया गया। इसको पीसीसी की उस ओहदे से उसी दिन हटा दिया गया जिस दिन नोटिफिकेशन निकला, और उस दिन के उस दूसरे दिन तमाम अखबारों पर यह बयान आए कि भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में खुर्द-बुर्द के इल्जाम पे इसको निकाल दिया गया।
Addressing party supporters, National Conference leader Sajjad Shaheen voiced his dissent over the proposed allocation of the Banihal Assembly segment to the Congress. Calling former Jammu and Kashmir Congress chief Viqar Rasulwani, who is tipped to contest the seat, a thief, Shaheen said he was prepared to do whatever that is needed if the seat went to the Congress. Signalling a further deepening of the cracks in the India alliance, the Shiv Sena UBT declared that it would go solo in the upcoming assembly elections.
Ahead of the seat sharing between National Conference and the Congress party in Jammu and Kashmir, National Conference leader has gone all guns blazing against the former chief of the Congress party, Viqar Rasulwani. The district president of National Conference from the Ramban district, Sajjad Shaheen, has gone all out and termed the former Congress chief as robber. He said that PCC chief was removed from his chair soon after the announcement of the assembly polls to the J&K.
The declaration followed close on the heels of the Aam Aadmi Party announcing that it would fight the elections on its own team.
कि अकेले के साथ साथ हम पहली बार जो है जम्मू कश्मीर की विधानसभा में लड़ रहे हैं, और जम्मू ही नहीं हम कश्मीर के अंदर भी जो है अपने उम्मीदवारों की आज घोषणा की गई है। 8 उम्मीदवार हमने यहाँ खड़े किए हैं। हमारी जो पहली सूची आई है, जिसके साथ संकल्प पत्र भी जो है कल पार्टी हाईकमांड के साथ गहन विचार विमर्श के बाद इस सूची को जो है वो अंतिम रूप दिया गया है, संकल्प पत्र को अंतिम रूप दिया गया है। हमारे पार्टी पक्ष प्रमुख माननीय उद्धव बाला साहब ठाकरे के निर्देशानुसार शिवसेना अपने बलबूते पर जो है तमाम चुनावों के जम्मू कश्मीर का विधानसभा चुनाव लड़ेगी।
Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath came down heavily on the Congress over its alliance with the National Conference for the Jammu and Kashmir polls. Invoking the SC's manifesto, Yogi asked if the Congress supports the latter's promise to restore Article 370 to the valley and revive talks with Pakistan.
कांग्रेस और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का यह गठबंधन राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को लेकर के अनेक बड़े सवाल खड़ा करता है और भारतीय संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखने वाले हर व्यक्ति को चिंतित भी करती है।
Addressing a press conference, BJP leader Tarun Chung warned against attempts to repeat historic mistakes.
क्या जम्मू कश्मीर की धरती पर भारतीय तिरंगे का अपमान होगा?
क्या किसी प्रदेश में 2 झंडों की ओर जाया जा सकता है? क्या नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के षड्यंत्र में कांग्रेस पूरी तरह भागीदार है? देश जानना चाहता है। और राहुल गांधी जी ने जो 3 दिन पहले जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर हाथों में हाथ डालकर जो घोषणा की है, आज उस घोषणा से पूरे देश के मन में कई प्रश्न खड़े हुए हैं।
Earlier, BJP Smriti Irani called on the Congress to come clean on whether it stands with the anti-India stance of Ally National Conference.
Every Indian has resolved incessantly that we as one nation have one constitution, one flag. Does the Congress party believe not in one constitution, but do nishan, do pradhan and do samvidhan? The unholy alliance gives rise to many a question.
As the BJP guns for the Congress, Rahul should answer if he wants to go ahead with the NC deal at the expense of national security.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Character, the taste of success.
Okay, so how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. So tonight, we are going to help everyone get it right. Here to help.
Moving on, as the dates for the assembly elections have now been announced for Jammu and Kashmir, voting awareness programs that are being organized to ensure that the message spreads out about people who have voting rights in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, in Udhampur, a cultural program that was announced by an organization called SWEEP. This primarily promoting participation of school children who spread awareness through skits and dances to put out that message. Here's that report.
As Jammu and Kashmir gears up for assembly polls, programs are being held to raise awareness about voting. A cultural program was organized in Udhampur by the Systematic Voters Education and Electoral Participation, also called as SWEEP. School children participated in this program. They also highlighted the importance of voter awareness through cultural dances. Several skits were also performed. Sweep Udhampur Nodal Officer Dr. Preeti Sharma appealed to the citizens to cast their votes in the upcoming elections.
आने वाले असेंबली इलेक्शंस के चलते हमने स्वीप कैंपिंग स्टार्ट की है, उसी की कड़ी को जोड़ते हुए आज ये हमारा प्रोग्राम था। यहाँ बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छा कल्चरल प्रोग्राम किया जिसमें उन्होंने ये मैसेज डिलीवर किया कि एक वोट की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, और बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में बताया और स्किट्स वगैरह की, डांसेस किए, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा।
And well, a sprawling convention center in Hyderabad that is owned by South superstar Nagarjuna faced bulldozer action over alleged violation of regulations. Dramatic pictures showing how the Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection rolled out the bulldozer to raise that property. The actor took to social media to voice his anguish, and he said that this property or anything that was built was not against any rule or was violated. Here's that report.
South superstar Nagarjuna Akineni faced bulldozer action on Saturday as a lavish property owned by him was razed to the ground. The action was taken by Hyderabad Disaster Response and Assets Monitoring and Protection Unit. Dramatic visuals showed a bulldozer tearing down the N Convention Center, the property sprawling over a 10-acre plot. According to reports, the demolition followed allegations of illegal construction.
The Hydra officials along with the police security had arrived here at the N Convention, which is right behind where you can see it is completely demolished by the Hydra. And now as you can see, this is the N Convention, which is owned by a Tollywood actor Akineni Nagarjuna, where we see that this particular N Convention is said to be under the full tank level, under the buffer zone, which has been constructed on the buffer zone, and that is the reason why now the Hydra committee has completely demolished this particular N Convention owned by the Tollywood actor.
Reports claimed further that the convention center had dodged regulatory action by the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation owing to the clout its owners wield. The actor meanwhile took to his X handle to voice his anguish and dismay over the bulldozer action, citing a stay order. Even as the superstar's luxurious property was reduced to rubble, the big question is, did the action follow due process?
And moving on to news from Karnataka, where SIT probe on the sex tape scandal has now gathered further momentum. SIT's charge sheet, where roughly around 2,000 pages have featured accounts from over 150 victims who've all gone on to put out details of what Prajwal Revanna did. Here's that report.
The special investigation team probe on the alleged sex scandal involving Prajwal and HD Revanna seems to have gathered momentum. The SIT's charge sheet brings to the fore scathing allegations against the father-son duo. SIC's explosive charge sheet comprises around 2,000 pages and has featured accounts from 150 witnesses.
ये चार्जशीट के बाद प्रज्वल रेवन्ना के ऊपर कैसा इन्वेस्टिगेशन कंटिन्यू होता है और 3 केस में चार्जशीट कब फाइल करने के लिए अभी एसआईटी टीम भी सोच रहा है। अभी चार्जशीट में एफएसएल रिपोर्ट का भी फाइनल रिपोर्ट पहुंचने के बाद वो पूरा चार्जशीट फाइल करने का एसआईटी टीम प्लान भी कर रहा है।
Revanna has been accused of raping his domestic help at his Holenarasipura residence. Not only this, he is also facing charges of raping the same woman in their Basavanagudi residence in Bengaluru. The charge sheet also mentions that Prajwal allegedly forced the maid's daughter to strip on a video call. Trouble on the Revannas only seems to be mounting. HD Revanna might possibly be charged under IPC Section 354 and IPC Section 354A. Meanwhile, there are scathing allegations against the son. Prajwal is being questioned under the provisions of the IPC section 376, 354, 354A and 354B. With scathing charges coming to the fore, all eyes on High Court's reception of this explosive charge sheet.
And moving on, as according to the police, 6 terrorists who are linked to the Al-Qaeda were arrested in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi while undergoing weapons training. Republic was the first channel to reach the ground where these terrorists were allegedly training. These are the reports that have been filed.
An Al-Qaeda terror cell was busted in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi district. 6 alleged terrorists were arrested in a raid by the cops. A huge stock of arms and ammunition as